is going on, everybody? Welcome.
Not that Michelle Obama lip sync. That was too perfect.
That was fantastic.
The lip sync was fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Saturday Night Hypnosis, episode 55. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day. I am not that sick anymore. Thankfully, I do have a cough that's not going away for some reason. But other than that, I'm okay. I hope everybody's having a great night. We have TheRogueAttraction with us tonight.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Say hello.
Hi. I don't know why I'm here. Just kidding.
It's because of the hat.
I'm sure Ryan feels the same way half the time.
I will try to be as toxic as possible and as much of a bigot as you need me to be.
I can appreciate that.
Is your head shaved under that hat? Like, can you take it off? Is there like a little? Oh my god!
My god!
Yes,
nice.
I love it.
Rub his head for good luck, guys.
Yes, we need to.
You could be our new Copa.
To answer questions in the chat, Atreus will be here hopefully soon. He's on colored time. So is Wyatt. Wyatt is also apparently on colored time, even though he's not colored. I just don't understand. But they'll be here soon.
That's privileged time. He's on privileged time. You can still be late and be on privileged time.
He's on privileged 8's time. That's what
exactly.
It is.
You could be late, but be classified as early. So, but with that being said, guys, welcome again. I'm super excited for episode 55. Today's topics are going to be absolutely insane. We got a lot we need to talk about, so we're going to jump right into it. With our intros, we're going to start off with Mr. Leon Idol himself. Take it away.
Hey, yes, it's awesome to be back. I missed last week due to a bunch of unforeseen circumstances that had to do with the hurricane, but your boy is back, and I'm here to celebrate the 2-year birthday of Hypnotic's channel. Happy birthday, my friend. Cannot wait to get into these topics tonight. There is a lot to be positive about in nerd news. There's also so much to be negative about, so I think we're going to take the good with the bad. We're going to make some jokes. We're not going to be right-leaning or left-leaning. We're just going to go all in on everyone. I have taken Alpha Brain, and I'm excited.
Damn, you are very hyper. I appreciate it. Very good. And we got the legend himself, Mr. Dragon Slayer commentaries. Take it away.
Hey guys, I'm back, and yes, this time I'm actually a little bit more amped up. I had a fucking terrible headache, but now it's going away. I don't know how this works, but this stream kind of just does a little magic where it gives you strength to go on. Sure, why not? White power! All right, sorry about that, guys. Right, so just want to let you guys know we're gonna have a really, really good time. All right, so let's get going.
Wow, short and sweet. Who are you? I don't know who you are.
The coach.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You guys were like, oh, he take like 5 hours to say like 2 sentences.
All right, we didn't really say that. That was more like a chat. The chat
right. To be fair, at least you know that Dave Filoni is watching your videos because they clearly modeled the Ahsoka dialogue after how you speak.
Exactly.
So mildly retarded. Okay.
No, I hate you right now because I'm gonna be watching that like real soon, and I'm gonna make a video for like 5 episodes in one shot because I am not making a lot of videos for that. Okay?
You're doing it right now, Dragon. Now on to Coach.
Mr. Coach MC, take it away, sir.
What's up, Super Saiyan? I mean, it's just an honor to be here at your anniversary. Incredible. We have every time I think we get together something to celebrate, and that's the beauty of show business. That's the beauty of being here on YouTube. Thanks so much, man, for making this happen every Saturday to give us nonsensical, crazy, completely out of control type of creatures like a forum to speak and to express their ideas, no matter how crazy they seem to be. And that's like what communication nowadays should be like. Let's talk. Let's exchange opinions. Let's say things how they really are. Let's address as much as we can, like honesty and what we love about good entertainment and comic books and all that beautiful subculture that's been created for so many years. And now these companies want, to tear it down, to destroy it, to change it, to manipulate it, to kind of flip it upside down and to reverse the real meaning and the moral message of it. No, we gotta make sure that we're gonna keep and preserve that message, that beautiful tradition, that we keep that beautiful culture alive every Saturday night. And if you want to, step up your performance, no matter what type of artist you are, if you want to step up your performance and kind of, add something new to your toolbox and do something magical, unexpected, and totally crazy and irrational, and you want to also get paid for it, namely, being the creator of your own art and maybe market it and create like a substantial, kind of revenue out of it, because nowadays we can do it. And so therefore, this is the power of art. This is the power of communication. Come over to the Coach MC studio, join the tribe. Let's get crazy with art. Let's step up our game and let's have fun in the process. And let's keep this show rocking.
Beautifully said, sir. Beautifully said.
Yes. He's our resident. Apart from being the sage, he is also the Italian-German version of Jay Leno. Recently, he just goes out on the streets of Miami, randomly interviewing people, asking what to think about acting. They just go like, hey, I got the question for you. I need to ask you.
Come over here.
Yeah.
Those videos are really
Was
good.
the line
Always
one.
Italians
Yeah,
to talk to.
There's a lot of stuff going down over here in Miami. So, and it's
yeah.
always like worth watching. So let's go.
That's really
I
cool.
like the Jay Leno comparison because your jaw is also, your chin is just as strong. So
Sharp chin.
Gay.
All right, with that being said, our special guest, the Rogue Attraction, take it away.
Well, I a theme park channel. I'm also part of Geeks and Gamers. I do park hopping. I'm on Mario Kart, Fortnite, all that fun stuff, Battlefront. But mainly, I basically show the honest truth of theme parks and guide people that still want to go and make sure how to show them not to give too much money to the mouse and find ways to get around things they don't want to see. That's my goal. There's still people that want to go travel down there. And in my view, the theme parks are the least offensive of what Disney's doing right now. So if you want to go there, if you want to have that keystone moment for your family or something like that, that's what I'm trying to do and make sure people get out without seeing the guy in a dress. And
Very, very much.
I just want to show the truth of the parks, whatever it is. I'm unbiased in that aspect. All the bad, all the good, whatever it is, you'll see that with me.
No, that's good though.
That's
good.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's
you for
really
being
good.
here.
Rogue, does that mean that the best weapon to bring is Jay himself so that any of that shady stuff just gets automatically assassinated like Winnie the Pooh in that last stream? Or will that work?
I'm just gonna say, park hopping needed a little sub boost. I don't know. I'm just saying, like they wanted that little boost.
And Jay
Definitely
was
got a
murder. Just murder
Jay
Winnie
is
the
an
Pooh.
awesome person to go around the parks with. He is like just basically it makes people not look at me because I walk around with a monkey lizard on my shoulder, but when you have a 6 foot something dude walking around that look like he wants to eat you all the time, that dude's always hungry. I don't know why. I'm just saying maybe get some
Winnie the Pooh was breakfast.
Yeah,
That's why he got
Canadian
down.
Bear versus Pooh Bear. We just need that to happen. Someone animate that. That'd be awesome. Legion of
100%.
Memers. Oh, I am also Legion of Memer, so I'll say that too. So
Nice.
I'm a couple of hats everywhere.
Nice. All right, now local Klansman, Ryan Roger Athe, take it away, sir.
No, it's reality based on this show. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It's great to be here on the iconic Hypnotic show. Good to see that Birdie is outshining Woods. It's good to see that Dragon has nowhere near the same talent as Coach, yet he still has the same monologues. Coach is so talented. Coach is so talented that the longer his monologues are, the more I feel a compulsion to just laugh my head off. It's good to see Rogue Attraction. I hope you're doing well, my good man. A great rising star. I know Az could not be here tonight, so Hypno got Az from Wish with a alien on his shoulder, who also doesn't have earlobes. I noticed that earlier.
Oh God!
Good to have you here, Rogue, and it's good that Cult Classic. Good to have Cult Classic Cage on the show, who looks like a man, sounds like a man, and hates Act Man despite acting like a man. And Film Rebel has arrived late and with AIDS. So
Goddamn right.
Good to be here. Here's to a great talk, a great conversation. And as we all know, Black lives don't matter. So on with the show.
Hey, Ryan, I got two things for you. All right. Number one, damn, you're like the only person just that is able to roast everyone in different varieties every single stream. And number two,
and
someone on
Atreus,
chat
too.
says no, but someone on chat pointed out something
Couldn't
very
be here
interesting.
because I took his thing.
Wow.
Well,
What the fuck was that?
well, look.
Blue tack.
Oh,
Let him
okay.
speak,
Not
though.
look like that.
Hey, that did not look like a blue tag. That thing looked some sus over there.
It gets real lonely on that island, doesn't
now?
it?
That's true.
And Leon's bird is protesting. Okay, well, fair enough. Also, one quick thing, Ryan.
Hey, it's
Someone-
Atreus. I
Klansman
have your
speaks.
thing here.
Atreus,
Hey,
everybody.
Everybody
this
looks
thing
like
out.
Stanley Kubrick. Okay,
We
somebody
got
on
to get
chat
our
pointed
Vic
out.
Mignogna moment from Simpcast. You're gonna show us you got your undies on.
Oh,
Oh my
Jesus
god. Well,
Christ.
while
Don't pull
Atreus
Gavin
is
Trey's about to do a
driving home-
drive-by. What the fuck is he
Yeah,
doing?
he's definitely doing something I don't think is
Atreus is
legal.
driving a car right now.
Oh,
Show us,
gonna be
let us
interesting.
know. Is it bigger than that thing of blue tack that Ryan
It's hard
has?
out here for a pimp.
Definitely.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
yeah.
barely, but I can hear you.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I almost forgot about y'all. I looked at that fucking notification. I was like, oh shit, it is Saturday.
Is that your car, Atreus?
Piece
Unbelievable.
of shit.
It's a car. It might not be.
It's
his.
a car.
Now I see where we rank with Atreus. Now I see where we rank. All right, let's keep the intros going. We got Cult Classic Cage. Take it away.
Yo, what's up, guys? Man, it's cool to have a new guest and getting to know new people. It's also good to make it through another week and be here Saturday night with all of you. I am Cassie Cage of the Cult Classic Cage Show, and I think I've done a pretty good job of pretty much pissing everyone the fuck off this week. So
Yes.
I will take all the blame because at the end of the day, I want to preserve gaming, and I will definitely make my choices based upon that. So yeah, it's been a fun week, and hoping to get into some dope ass conversations with everyone here tonight, and just overall just kick it, man.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I think the gaming space hasn't been this ignited in quite a while. It's
Oh, yeah.
good to see everything going down right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm with this. This is good. All right. Speaking of Resident Shill, we got a Mr. Film Rebel, aka
Hey.
Wyatt's Metal. Take it away.
I am Film Rebel and I am Wyatt's Metal. I go by many names. I apologize for being late, Ryan. I was distracted. I was distracted, Ryan, by this thing we have here in California called the sun. So I apologize. I also wasn't invited. I wasn't aware that it was the cool hat party as everyone else is demonstrating except for me. So I'll just feel awkward here by myself for a little bit. It's cool. Whatever.
Just get a hat, man. I'm sure you got one.
I probably do. I do. Let me find one.
All right.
Yeah, get it from your closet.
Atreus, you gonna be able to do an intro
Oh
from
my
the
God.
car that you stole?
Atreus, are you trying to steal some background, man? That thing is dark as hell.
You can't
Like
even
you're
see it.
trying to
Can
snap.
you smile?
So dark we can't see it.
That is.
That's crazy.
Oh damn, bro!
Smile
was
so
a
we
jump
can
scare.
see you, Atreus.
He's not even
If you
going
want
to
to-
talk.
Oh
If you
god!
want to, you can skip my intro if you want to.
Can you hear the police sirens?
Drive it like you stole
Oh
it.
my god, you piece of shit.
All right,
Bro.
Atreus. Hopefully you get home soon so we can get that majestic voice of yours on a microphone.
Yes.
I mean, if you can't hear me, let me know. I'll just fall out until I get back home. But no, I was saying if you wanted to, you can skip my intro.
Okay, that's fine.
Well,
No
every
problem, bro.
say hi
Hiding
to the
in
hood
the
ninja.
in the car?
living situation right now.
There we go.
Oh,
Film Rubber's got a hat on. Very
Now I'm
nice.
caught part of the cool
Well,
kids.
we
Very
got the trio
I got
of
this hat from
miladies.
IMDb.
That's
Good old
hilarious.
IMDb, my God.
That looks like something like Lenny Kravitz would wear.
Exactly.
You're not lying.
All right,
I was
guys,
thinking about
listen, we
Bruno
got
Mars. Does Bruno Mars is gay?
a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
We
who in
have to talk
Hollywood isn't
about.
gay. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you're not lying. We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about. We got Starfield drama going on. We got the Nexus mods banning pronoun, mods and all that nonsense. We're gonna talk about. It's heating up out there. People. The thing about Starfield is I feel like it kind of showed both sides, like the nonsense on both sides, and they're kind of they're kind of fighting to see who's better at nonsense. Essentially,
I've
in my
enjoyed
opinion.
Cage attacking everybody on this one.
Oh yeah, this is like Cassie's specialty. This is like where she thrives,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's good stuff.
Did you get ratioed in your video cast? Because I'm fucking pissed. Like,
I need to
It's
find
It's
out,
been close. It's about even on like a couple of my videos.
Really?
bro. I have to
Yeah.
search.
At least
this
you
now.
had a chance to drop a damn hit piece. I didn't.
Piece,
I made
Jesus.
an entire hit piece, and then because I didn't make it in my normal setup, and then when I got home to edit the video, the audio was garbage, and I just like that's why I didn't make a video all week because that shit destroyed me. I made 2 hit pieces.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
And
Crazy. Yo, you can't make this up. can't make this up, bro.
This is impossible, really.
This is
If
not,
True
this is not
country
good.
reality.
say you're trans. If they come for you, say you're trans.
Not
Right,
not
say you're
say you're
trans.
trans.
Yo, that is crazy.
Not
trans.
timing.
Another day in Atlanta.
It's
I'm
not
a black
racist if it's true.
got my rights.
You guys gotta admit in chat that was pretty crazy
That was
timing.
fucking
That's-
hilarious.
No, that was
you can't plan that. That's good stuff.
that was too perfect.
Thank you.
Come on, everyone gets that
I
little bit
love
of
the
food coming
universe.
out when
The
you hear
universe
the
is just perfect.
And it had to be a few minutes after Ryan made
The
that
universe
comment.
is just
Wow.
White
Everything in the
privilege.
Who
universe
said it?
happens for a reason.
For
Who
absolutely.
said Atreus didn't get a hit piece across? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely got one
dang.
across.
Nope.
But yeah, so we got to talk about that. We also got to talk about Velma apparently being delayed or canceled. I heard that Velma
Praise
season 2
Jesus.
is like the deal that they made originally with Warner Brothers. She got dropped along with a few other people who had deals with Warner Brothers apparently because of the entire strike drama. So that's going to be interesting. We also got to talk about One Piece, of course, and how successful the show is for Netflix. Apparently very successful. And we also going to talk about Snow White a little bit. Snow White, apparently there's been a lot of talk about it not actually coming out. Disney came out and said it actually is coming out. So there's a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to start off, of course, with the Starfield, because a lot of people are talking about Starfield right now and the drama and the pronouns, and you got creators attacking creators back and forth, people left and right. It's quite ridiculous. So
It's typical gamer stuff, bro. Like
Yeah.
me, when I saw that, I was like, oh, another massive dumpster fire, and people are just killing each other. I'm just gonna watch. That's been like that's how. If you're a true
It's
gamer, you
so
already know
bad,
that's how it
man.
is. Or if
And you know
you're
what's
cast,
crazy?
you just like what?
there's been a very clear line drawn ideologically anyway between all these creators who are kind of going at each other. You see people on Twitter and it's funny because there's a lot of, I guess, fans of those creators that are coming out and saying, I see it in comments all the time. They'll come out and say, "Oh, I can't believe you said this, that, whatever. Or, I'm not subscribing to you anymore, or whatever." I guess they have this idea that certain people are on one political side of the aisle, and then when that person comes out and says something totally different from what that side believes, they just completely fucking leave them. And it's happening on both sides too, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
They're even
recently,
dragging old creators back into like fucking Chris Raygun, who hasn't really done a lot of culture war stuff in the last 5 years. Like, dude used to be my favorite
Yeah.
YouTuber of all time. He was outspokenly leftist, and then you see what was that? RGB 85 or whatever,
RGT 85,
making
I
that
think.
tweet about you guys are infiltrate our space and said you were on our
Right.
side this whole time. And Chris Raygun's like, yeah, we also always said we were on the left. Like, what's the shock here?
Right. That
Yeah,
happens a lot. People have this assumption of other people that they just watch. Like you got to remember, like as viewers, and I do this too. I'm a viewer of a lot of different channels. You don't know these people in real life. Like you don't actually speak with them privately every day. So it's hard to know
Sure.
exactly what they're thinking. And even some of these hardcore political channels that swear they're on one particular side have been proven in the past to be on the complete opposite side.
Yeah.
They just might be
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
something on their channel because they found money through it or whatever, or some people could call them grifters. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm
But
incredibly progressive. No, I'm
100%.
really
It's very
really a
obvious.
communist. This is all an act. And, I want
Well, considering
people
your
like
view
Atreus-
count, you're doing a shit job at grifting, bro.
No,
I want people
but
like
seriously,
Atreus
if you-
to take over the world. Yes.
100%.
Oh my
like
god.
there's been a lot of content creators recently kind of think of Jay Shetty, who got like an enormous backlash for interviewing Joe Biden because everybody thought he would be some, of course on the left side of politics, but not so left to actually invite Joe Biden on his podcast. And I think we all made the assumption there, like, no, he would definitely not go there because it's obvious, what kind of guy we're talking about. But no, you see that time and over and over again. This is no big news, actually, right? That content creators we thought would be would have some sort of integrity and loyalty to the space and to the culture would over and over again, sell themselves in a way.
Yeah.
Is that legitimate? Probably yes. We don't know their lives. We don't know what kind of problems they're going through, what kind of hardmanship they're going through. And maybe that money just comes in handy, I guess, and they're making the choice of doing that. So
Well, also, so my question, and just so Chad is aware,
Mm-hmm.
the people on this panel, at least what I'm aware, have varying opinions on the whole Starfield nonsense, which is why I think it's going to be an interesting chat. So, try not to kill each other in the chat or whatever. But my main question,
Those of us on stream though, let's kill each other.
Yeah, we're gonna kill each other, especially Atreus and Ryan. My question is, for those of you who have played Starfield, first off, who's played it? Wow, Ryan actually played it. That's shocking.
On the Xbox One as well.
So Atreus played it, Ryan playing, Cassie played it. I played it.
PS5 gamer. Sorry.
It's all good. So for those of you who have played it, is Starfield woke? Just throw it out there. Is it woke?
Fuck no.
No.
Okay,
Thank
One of
you.
the best
That's
games
what I
I've
heard.
ever played.
And Ryan says no.
No.
What about you, Cassie? No?
No, I mean, it's one of those things where the pronouns are there. It's ideological, yes, but it's not at all intrusive. Also, it's worth noting that like these games, they want to maximize sales, so they're going to try to appeal to everyone. It's not like they're necessarily taking away my ability to make the character that I want. And by default, if you pick the male character or the guy that they don't say deliberately male or female. I know that that is a thing that they do now for ideological reasons. But if you pick the character that clearly looks like a guy, they give you the default pronouns, and to me that I can live with that. Like, yes, that is to me the default. I don't see it any more than that personally, because to me, I believe that yes, we all do have default pronouns. Exactly.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on. What were you gonna
if it's not woke, then why did I get a comment yesterday that said 99% of voiced characters, faction leaders, and interesting NPCs are lesbian girl bosses? Only interesting male NPC is sidelined for a trans clone who actually thought it was okay and had a decent story despite the wokeness. Like, if the game isn't woke, why are so many people saying that it's woke? I mean, I agree with you, by the way. It's not.
If I might,
if
I might interject, ladies and gentlemen. To me, it's a contest between whether this is making a mountain out of a molehill, and for once I'm being serious on this show, or whether it's a death by 1,000 cuts situation. There are lots of little things wrong with Starfield. I have thoroughly enjoyed it over the past 22, 23 hours of gameplay. Now, this has been since September the 6th, so I really enjoy this game. It's the best Bethesda game I have ever played. And I am thoroughly enjoying this game on the Xbox One through cloud gaming, and I have like a download speed of a signal speed of 33 to 49 mega MPS or whatever the fuck it's called.
Megabits per second.
Yes, that. So I'm having a great time with the game. It does have a lot of little things, the pronoun little thing, the clone of a man little thing, the fact that the second in command of the big pirate gang happens to be a black lesbian little thing. Lots of small little
There's
things.
blacks in the game.
Yes, another little thing.
Whoa!
Fat people in the game. Lots of Asians too.
Here's
Lots
the thing.
of Asians.
I won't pretend like I haven't gotten that far in the game because I've been so busy and whatnot. But my whole thing is, this is not a fucking movie where you're forced to embark on the journey that they want you to fucking embark on. This is a video game where you get to choose what the fuck you want to do. So my whole issue was I didn't have a problem with them giving you the option to do that. Obviously, like Cassie said earlier, they're trying to, get as many sales as they possibly can. So if some tranny moron wants to get on there and pretend to be a rock, who fucking cares?
Well, I do understand.
But here's the
understand
thing
that-
that seems really odd. Because wouldn't the trans person want to actually pick the female and have her pronouns? So my question is this actually
Ideally.
for like the non-binary doesn't want to say what they are type of people? And the other thing, is this actually better than what Hogwarts did, where they're like, oh, wait, we're just going to put everyone as they and not do any actual pronouns, in which case it's the same type of argument of you're either forcing someone to use they, them pronouns throughout the whole game, and at least this time you have a choice. You have a choice, and they automatically default to the correct pronoun. It does not force you to change it.
So,
but I did love the passion, the passion, the energy. I called it on Twitter for Az's rant. I gave my thoughts on Az's rant on Starfield pronouns. The epitome of entertaining and informative content. He spoke his mind. He was very passionate. not a single blooper fuck up, and it was entertaining, informative. He delivered his point very well, and there was that punchline, fucking pronouns, and there's like, it grabbed the attention. Dan Vass clipped it and made it go viral. That's why Dan and Az, that makes Daz, folks. And it blew up.
But there's
and
a difference,
Az took
though.
the heat.
Dan was wrong, and Az was correct. The two
Yeah.
approached it very different ways. But before, I want to talk. Someone had said something in the comments. I think is rather interesting. So Simdal in the comment says anyone giving an inch or dollar to the woke should not voice opinions about said woke. That's called being part of the problem. First of all, you do not know if it is woke. You cannot make an accurate assessment of whether it's woke unless you experience it for yourself, which would require giving, the dollar to it. Otherwise, you're just taking other people at their word. And second of all, we need to define terms. We need to figure out what the parameters are. What is woke? Because in my opinion, this is what my video was on. Woke has lost all fucking meaning. So,
Leon, that is an excellent
what are our
point.
definitions of woke?
Political
It-
correctness,
the
social
main
justice,
thing is
and
this game
identity
has-
politics.
Well, this game has an age rating, right? What's the age rating on the game? I
don't
forgot.
know.
M17.
I think it's mature.
So 17. So first of all, my main thing is don't introduce pronouns around kids. Don't introduce that nonsense. So this game is meant for 17 and up, which I consider you're no longer a kid at 17. 18, you're an adult. So that's where you lost my argument a little bit on it being super woke, is because it's not meant for kids. If it was pointed at, this was an all age rated game, and all of a sudden it has a little, male and female bear, and you're picking your characters and it says, what pronoun do you want Mr. Barry to have? Then I'd be very upset. But this is,
I mean, here's the thing. The reality is, at some point, given how low the standard is of what is considered woke, because it has lost all meaning, at some point we've all bought something that's woke. You can't, you could pretend that you haven't, but there's probably, and you maybe didn't even realize it, but I am sure that everyone here, including in the chat, has bought something that would be considered woke, just because the level of entry for what is woke is so fucking minuscule.
I am poor, Cassie, so
He doesn't buy it.
maybe Dove soap, woke Dove soap. Maybe.
Yeah,
they are woke.
I can send you some non-woke
time,
soap if you want me
Quick
to.
note. Quick
one
note.
of my all-time favorite creators is basically said that you're gonna end up caving here and there. It's gonna happen. But as long as you also support the things that stand against this shit to help build an alternative to, then that's fine. Because you can't avoid it all. It's not a realistic thing. These are companies that are taking upon what is socially acceptable, given our, the politics specifically of America. I can't really speak to other countries, but I'm sure that they engage in all this fucking woke bullshit. A lot of first world countries too, because we don't have real fucking problems anymore, apparently. So they engage in all this.
One that may not be there.
Not yet, but they somewhat cave because they want to sell to.
That's
to
why
us.
in Africa you don't.
Yeah.
You don't see these type of
That's just not
narration.
Africa.
And the fact of
Oh, really quick. Can I just say something really quick?
Sure.
Take over. Just to be out there. I see a lot of people in the chat. Going back and forth, and that's great. That's fine. I see other people in the chat basically saying, "I can't hear this because this is defending woke. I'm out." And ultimately, if you have reached that point where you cannot hear differentiating opinions, and they trigger you to the point where you can't watch it, I don't consider that to be any better than the left side. Honestly,
Exactly.
I really don't.
You are
I
exactly
told you,
what
and
you're
I
fighting
gave you. I even gave you a little trigger warning in the beginning, which I never do. I'm like, listen, this conversation is going to go many different places because there's many different opinions on this. So if you want to listen, that's great. I would love for you to listen, and I'm always down for a conversation. But if you can't even handle a conversation, that's a little rough. I'm just saying. So it's
check
fine.
out Reality Based.
Very,
Echo
very good.
Chamber.
I appreciate you stopping by. I really do. But come on, you got to be able to handle a conversation, bro. It's just ridiculous.
Both sides are
so
equally as shit. If you they said a word I don't agree with.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Are you kidding me? If I fucking, it's ridiculous.
Free speech. I mean, you got to defend. You have to defend speech you hate. You have to, because otherwise your speech will be taken away. True.
that's
too.
probably the first
I
thing you
will-
gotta defend. Yes.
And then that's the thing. We have to be nuanced. That's the left isn't nuanced, right? Or whatever the woke.
Exactly. That's
We have to be nuanced.
The,
Don't.
yeah.
I don't know. I've been saying this for a while. I'm against blackpilling. I hate people that do that. I hate people that say, "Oh, this is terrible. I'm walking away." You look at what Vanguard or BlackRock own. They own pretty much 90% or 99% of every company in America. So you can't do anything. You can't like literally do anything without supporting something that was bringing the ideology in. So,
BlackRock gives you black pills. Please sponsor me.
Quick note on
God.
so with Starfield, for me, I consider it. I don't consider it to be a woke game. I consider it to have woke tendencies, which a lot of these games do, but that doesn't necessarily mean the entire game is woke. Okay, so for me, when I saw, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I turned on the game. I knew what to expect. I probably might have had a slightly different reaction if I went into it blind, not knowing what to expect. But I already knew the pronouns thing was going to be there. But even knowing the pronoun thing was going to be there, I was just like, okay, this is fucking retarded. My biggest issue with this is that you can't opt out of it. I feel like if you're going to use the excuse that it's an RPG, right? A lot of people are saying it's an RPG. You should be able to, if you want to make a fucking character obsessed with pronouns, you should be able to do that. Fine. But if I want to make a character that is not obsessed with pronouns and wants to be a normal human being in space, why can't I do that? You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest problem. And that goes into the whole conversation about Nexus mods and banning the ability to remove pronouns, because if you're gonna
if the Middle East version of the game has the pronoun choice.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. But I
Wait, so can I download that version?
Yeah, really. How much do you have to pay to get that one?
What a great ad for ExpressVPN.
Well, here's the thing. So, last year there was a controversy surrounding Nexus mods in which they chose to remove a mod that literally just implements the Middle Eastern version of Spider-Man on PC. Of Marvel Spider-Man on PC.
And
that's
the American
all the mod
flag
did.
too.
Which no. So what that version of the game did was turn all the gay pride flags that were in the game into American flags, since it takes place in New York. So that's literally the Middle Eastern version of the game, and that's all the mod did. And apparently that is considered, homophobic. You're an evil human being, like you are the scum of the earth. And Nexus mods chose to remove that, and I was inherently fucking against that, because who the fuck are you to tell people how they want to experience their single player game? You fucking piece of shit. It was an ideological choice, and I'm still not. There's no confirmation in which this mod, like them removing these mods, is a thing. They're probably trying to keep it hush hush, but there is reason to believe that they're probably removing these mods surrounding removing the pronouns in Starfield. And once again, I'm inherently fucking against it. Who the fuck are you to tell people how they want to experience their single player game?
We don't own the software technically, correct? It's all leased. These are all lease agreements with the companies for the software, correct?
In regards to the mods themselves?
No, the game itself you don't technically own. You're leasing it.
No, technically you don't own the game. You don't have a physical copy. Literally, you are paying to have access to a lease copy that Steam, in this case, or other companies that have been allowed to download.
Would that give them the legality loopholes to block out the mods, basically? Because
Nexus mods is different though. Nexus mods.
So Steam themselves, they're the ones that offer the game for purchase. Steam themselves, what I love about Steam is that they don't take political stances. Matter of fact, they're very laissez-faire. They're, out of all the storefronts, I love Steam the most because they don't give a fuck. They just want to collect money and keep it moving. That's what's great about Steam. Now, Nexus is a third-party mod provider, which is very popular because that's where the mass majority of mods do end up. Steam Workshop is kind of replacing them for clear fucking reason, but it has nothing to do of your purchase of the copy of the game. It's just this third party optional website that allows you to change things in the game from other people uploading these changes to their website. That allows you to change stuff about the game. If it be, modding out pronouns and nonsensical bullshit, or changing the overall color, or adding things to the game. You could add fucking John Cena's theme song to Skyrim. That was a popular one back in the day. It goes like, that's what gives the PC experience its individuality, and why the console experience is inferior in comparison because I can do whatever the fuck's
as
my game.
as a console gamer, I have to ask this: are there more than one modding sites? Is Nexus just the biggest one?
Nexus is the biggest, but there are multiple.
Yeah.
So are all the modding sites following suit, or is it just
it's
we haven't gotten. Nobody's actually, from what I've seen, investigated other modding sites. Personally, I don't engage in other modding sites besides Steam Workshop.
That Nexus is doing it. That's not even so far. There's been conflicting stories because some people are saying Nexus is blocking it and others aren't. So I'm not even sure. None of us are sure if Nexus is actually doing this.
Make the controversy so they don't do it.
Yeah, so they don't scream loud enough, Wolf, so it doesn't happen.
Well, the problem is Nexus Mods is very ideologically driven. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They have openly told you if you don't like us removing these mods because we don't agree with the sentiments presented, go fuck yourself, delete your account. That's literally how they are. They're very dick
and they've been doing and
they're a bunch of
dick Skyrim.
So
like they've been doing that for a long time.
Does
The
Steam
thing with
Workshops have the mod on there now? The anti-pronoun mod?
That's a good question.
Not
I
that
do
I've
not
seen.
know. Or maybe they haven't added.
Well, thank goodness I'm playing this on the Xbox One.
Well, the thing is, Ryan, what will probably happen is Bethesda will, when it comes to mods, Bethesda's been very open about this with Skyrim. They're probably going to do it for Starfield. They're probably going to get Q-rated mods transported to Xbox. And yes, Cage is laughing because we all know how that shit's going to turn out.
Yeah,
but,
enjoy paying mods.
Greedy fucks that they are. But no, look, with Nexus mods, I'm gonna be honest with you, Rogue. This whole thing of being like super ideologically driven to ban stuff, this has been going on for the longest time. It's just that Starfield has brought a resurgence of it. And the thing is, like, it's very hypocritical in the sense that on one hand, they ban stuff like what Cage said about replacing the pride flags with American flag in one game and the pronouns from Starfield, but yet you go to freaking Nexus mods for Skyrim, and you literally have like a bazillion different mods, like an astounding amount of mods that are just nude mods or worse shit that I cannot say here because this stream will go down immediately thanks to YouTube. But let's just say
that never
it's kind of but it's hypocritical because they claim to have this ideological stance, but yet they ignore the other thing that is supposed to fit into that ideological stance of theirs because they know it'll make them money if they allow these mod creators to do what they're doing because that brings more people to their site. So they kind of pick and choose what situation they want to favor if it'll mean it'll bring more people over to visit their site. So to them, the whole thing about the pronouns crap or the people that are complaining about the pronouns stuff, that's a very small amount compared to the average user base. So they're just taking their losses and they know they're not going to suffer much. And they know that this website is at the moment, go-to mod website. Okay. If you ever search like, insert game name here, mods, the first thing that's going to pop up usually is Nexus mods and the page for that game. And that's where most mod creators go. And on top of that,
they have pronouns, folks. How progressive!
Oh yeah, there you go. Wonderful.
I thought that'd be pretty funny. I wanted to see, if anybody would catch that. I thought it might be a good way to get conversation going was to put some pronouns in my name here. But no, like the problem with the modding community at large, people on X, the whole nine, is that like let's say Resident Evil 3 remake, for example, or Resident Evil 2. There was a gajillion mods for nude Jill, nude Claire, whatnot. And those didn't get removed. Those didn't get taken down because that's not a controversy that's going to last. This is like purely being done up to drama farm. That's what it is. I don't even really think Nexus mods cares all that much. This is people on X, people on Twitter, whatnot, throwing fits about stuff that they know won't blow over because it is a cornerstone of this culture war. I don't think Nexus Mods has actually made a statement because all the screenshots that people have shown of Nexus Mods making the statement, it's the one screenshot going around and around, but it hasn't been verified. And meanwhile, they allow, again, if all these people are so progressive, so liberal, so, all that, then how come Nexus Mods allows, full nude playthroughs of Resident Evil 3 as Jill? That should be like anti-woman.
Progressivism is also about sexual exploitation.
Oh
like,
yeah, of course.
leftist is also about exploiting sex in any way.
Yeah,
So they're
these
not
are the
going
same
to.
people that tell you not to sexualize. These are the same people that, how dare you sexualize this
that's-
character?
So here's
No,
the deal.
no,
the reality
men can't
is
sexualize.
We can't.
With-
Women
with-
can sexualize.
with the Nexus Mods website, if they removed all of the nude mods, it would be abandoned overnight.
Oh yes.
Nobody would fucking go there.
What? Are you serious? It's like the only thing that makes them money lately. And I can't. You're right, though. It's incredible. And you know,
will it take 25 years for the next Starfield to come out? Because I don't think I'll be alive when that happens.
no.
You don't
it'll
think you'll live
probably-
another 25 years? You're 24.
Exactly.
Yeah, but look at his diet, man.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
fair enough.
No, and what's crazy is what is probably with Starfield, we won't get a sequel in a long time because I heard that as soon as Starfield released, the news came out that Bethesda were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, guys, you know how we kind of told you that we were working on Elder Scrolls 6 like 3 years
Yep.
ago or some bullshit like that?
More than that.
Psych,
It's
we're
at
not."
least
We
5
just
years
started.
ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember when they showed
Yeah.
us like the intro.
2018.
I know.
E3 of
Scrolls 6.
2018.
Yeah, it turns out that they only did that in order to get investors on board and to
Of
get
course.
people hooked on so that when
That's the
Starfield
game.
came out, people would just grab it. And then when they make that announcement, oh, yeah, we're just now starting to work on Elder Scrolls 6, guys. Psych.
Just went into
everyone-
production.
Yeah, but everyone.
They spend all the time, folks,
Yeah.
trying to make sure the creation engine looks better, but it's just the same engine, but with a different name or a Mark II or a Mark
Oh,
III.
no,
It's the
bro.
same engine since Morrowind, for
You're
God's
right.
sake.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, Ryan, like here's what happened. My guess is with Starfield, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but from
You're
what I
never
saw,
wrong.
are they using the same engine as Skyrim, or are they at
Yes,
least?
it's a more souped up creation engine.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, here's what's going to happen. Okay, here's what's going to
rename it.
happen, and I know this is what they're planning. They're probably releasing They released Starfield with this engine because they're already working on it anyway years ago. My guess is with Elder Scrolls 6, throughout that entire time that they claimed they were working on it, they actually weren't working on it. They were working on making a brand new engine just for that game and their future games because they know that if they release Elder Scrolls 6 with the same old ass engine, the roasting will never stop and Todd Howard will never be able to sleep again.
Starfield got the time to be polished that Fallout 76 never did, because I am convinced that this game was made in 2021, but they spent 2 years trying to make sure it worked properly because Bethesda could not have another Fallout 76 disaster.
No,
if it was
they
a
could
second
not.
time, it would have killed Bethesda Game Studio.
Well, the fact that they still
yeah.
get tons of bugs on these games and they've been using the same engine for I don't even know how long
20
now. I mean,
years.
you would think you would have mastered your engine by now. You know,
No,
But
it
it's
just
a
gets
game
worse.
feature,
Don't fix it.
Hypno. In Bethesda games, the bugs are a feature, and modders are your patch
just
making
works.
dudes.
Well, Bethesda's in a shit situation, and it's like I kind of understand where they realize that their games have longevity and that people will buy them 5 to 10 different fucking times, specifically because of the modding community. They are the ones that keep these games selling for the long term, and Creation
Oh,
Engine is the most intuitive way for modders to make mods for the game. So they're in a shit situation where, yeah, it's old as fuck, but modders know how to mod for it, and that's what kind of keeps the game these games lively for as long as they are. So it's very difficult. They definitely spend a lot of time trying to iron out what bugs they can with Creation Engine, but it's like
how
when
much
you
did
plug
Microsoft and Game Pass help this game out though? How much did that have it being baked into that monthly subscription? How much did it help out with Bethesda there? Because Microsoft must have thrown them a lot of money and be like, oh, we want this on Game Pass day one to be on Game Pass. Like, so yeah,
Well,
you're paying
they
for it on
bought-
Steam.
Here's the thing: Microsoft bought Bethesda,
yeah,
so
but I'm
they
saying-
own Bethesda.
Yeah,
That's why they gave it the
Bethesda-
time.
Yeah.
Starfield got the time that Fallout 76 never got.
because Microsoft
My
had the money to back
Yeah.
it. And
Well,
let them
they
go.
own ZeniMax, who owns Bethesda. It's kind of a weird ladder, but yeah. And look, with the Creation Engine, my guess is that if they're working on a brand new version for Elder Scrolls 6, they will probably make it very easy for the modders to do their thing.
Creation Engine Mark III.
I guess so, and I hope it's better and less buggy than
Same
the shit we
thing.
had. It's probably the same thing.
I don't know.
But,
I mean,
like,
FromSoft does improvements on their on their
Yeah.
stuff all the time. You look at Armored Core 6. That game is beautiful. It's fast. I have not seen a bug in it, and it's more fun than what
I was
Starfield
streaming
looks
with
like.
somebody last night who was playing Armored Core 6 while on a giant panel stream like this, and the game was running beautifully while we were all having fun conversations. Like,
Yep.
no, it's a good looking game.
I didn't
Yep.
kick Atreus out, so don't accuse me of that.
Yeah.
But
I
my
don't know, you
biggest
can't trust
issue
the
with
Brit.
this is this right here. So, and a lot of people have this problem. So, let's talk about this particular picture
Sure.
that's making the rounds.
Sure.
You know, when they
Oh.
say it doesn't matter, like none of this is supposed to matter. Nobody cares. It's just
Nothing matters.
pronouns,
What's the
right?
point
Nothing
to
matters.
anything?
Nothing matters until it matters, right? And people like this is the problem. So this is why you can't give necessarily anybody an inch because they're going to take kilometers at this point. You know, look at how this person celebrated just the mere
Mile.
idea that the banning of or removal of pronouns is going to be banned from Nexus mods. You get what I'm saying? Like people,
Yeah.
clearly it matters. And these are the same people that are yelling at like Az, for example, and telling him that it doesn't matter. So I mean, what do you guys think about somebody like people like this?
They are
well,
they them pronoun demons.
Yeah.
My name
Well,
for them.
the,
now.
the, what
This is the
interested
one
me more-
screenshot going around, and there's no
Yeah.
proof of it being legitimately correct. I think people
Yeah.
are taking this screenshot like as gospel when it should be taken with a grain of salt. People
Is
like
that-
this are
yeah,
morons.
no one's been
but that
able to
doesn't
go
mean
on
this
the
is
board and
real.
check to see if it's real.
Mm.
Like no one has gone on and looked. To
I
see
didn't
where
I
this-
didn't check to see if this picture is real, but I did see responses like this on Twitter everywhere. So
Well,
How can we
this
check
person
if it's
isn't? They're
if
just a
it's
user. Though.
instantly
They're just a
deleted?
user of Nexus mods. Is what like this is not a mod, a moderator of the Nexus mods website. This person is just a general user, and so they could be. This is just a post they made on a discussion board, and it's being taken as, oh, this is real, but this isn't from anyone who actually works at Nexus mods.
okay, fair enough.
Well, for me at least, what catches me is the second comment where they're like, "Oh, sorry, I was very excited to post this. I forgot to mention some extra." They will not be supporting any mods that remove pronouns. Now, the key word here is supporting, right? And what that at least tells me, I could be wrong, okay? Well, that simply tells me is that they will probably not financially support the mod creators that make those mods, and they will probably do what the YouTube algorithm does anyway, which is that they're going to let the mod sit there, but they're not going to give it any exposure so
Mod
as to
suppression.
prevent people from finding it. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I am thinking when I read that second comment. Now, if that's the case, then, well, I mean, it is an independently owned modding website, and as much as we may dislike it, they do have the right to do that. And if you don't feel satisfied with it as a mod creator, you can post your mod
Go
in
to
another
Steam.
website. Just like when a YouTube creator is having issues with YouTube not giving their videos enough exposure, you do have the other options of posting your video either on Twitter or on Rumble or on both and in other platforms. Now, will you get the same amount of exposure as you could on YouTube? No, but at least you still can get your point across and get exposure. So, sometimes I think that this situation, like Hypno said, people see this kind of screenshot or whatever, and then some crazy person is like, "Oh my God, look, it proved our point that we have someone on our side," and then those people, get all excited and they start yelling, on the top of their lungs so that everybody hears them that this is what's happening, and then people from the other side, that I will say most of them have probably not looked into any of what's going on. They get excited about the fact that their opponents are spewing something that they're against anyway, and then a fight starts, and then when somebody wants to get to the meat of it and find out exactly what's going on, both sides get mad at that person, because they don't.
You mean
support their
words?
side
You mean
explicitly.
words?
Yes,
Someone like words.
No,
yes,
like,
I
no,
get mad at that
anyone
person
normal.
because that person on both sides. Because here's the fucking problem with this. You know, both sides are going absolutely apeshit over shit that doesn't matter. Kuiko Fulgurion here in the chat said it best. They say, "I'm just sick of all the drama, regardless of what political wing we are. I just want to play video games, damn it." And that's exactly fucking correct. Because at the end of the day, what was it that we were all saying just a couple months ago when the Nick Merck shit went down? We were saying, leave children alone. Well, last I checked, like Rogue Attraction was saying, this is a fucking mature rated game. So guess what? Kids technically aren't supposed to be playing this. So the developers can put in whatever they want. Also, this is a like let's say you don't like pronouns in the game. I don't. I think it's dumb. But this is a far fucking cry from 9-year-old Timmy cutting his dick off. So if you want to put pronouns in the fucking game,
Also,
pronouns in the fucking game. I think it's dumb, but this isn't hurting kids. Kids shouldn't be playing it, and it's not the same thing as transitioning 9-year-olds in a fucking school in Florida.
So the other problem is that talking about Starfield and talking about Nexus, when California just passed a law that is basically saying the state can take your child if you don't affirm their gender.
Yep.
We're talking about the wrong thing. We're talking about something that is dumb compared to what really matters, which is actual law, which is stuff that can affect people. I'm sorry. This is the game. I'm not going to play it. I don't care to play it. And honestly, if you're that offended by something so small, say what you want to say, but then also look at the bigger issues and then talk about those.
Exactly.
Don't just sit there
talking about pronouns in this game.
Oh my god.
But just to be fair,
it's been covered ad nauseum that there was this father in Texas who mom wanted to transition the kid, so the mom took the kid to fucking California, and California won't extradite because they don't have to there. That's a bigger fucking issue than they them pronouns in Starfield. Go fuck yourself. It's a fucking game.
I love how I started this.
Well, just fair, I'm gonna play the other side.
There's a lot of people in the Steam community that are happy that Nexus Mods is banning it.
I'm
So
gonna
I was
play the
looking
other
through
side
Steam
real quick.
community, so I'm assuming that Steam Workshop will probably not have the mods either.
There's a lot of people that will say that the bigger issues all start from the smaller issues becoming bigger.
Yeah,
issues.
broken window policy.
In a way,
And that is absolutely true. That being said, where do you draw the line? In my opinion, we draw the line at leave children out of this. And if this game is rated M for mature, then that line's been drawn. If it was an E-rated game or a T-rated game, then it would be, there'd be cause for alarm because that would be showing this to kids. But it's an M-rated game.
I bring up another point.
And you don't have to do it. You have a choice to play it. You don't have to. A law is a real thing that you can't have a choice by.
People under the age of 17 cannot purchase this game without parental consent. We're all about, hey, it's the parents' rights. It's up to the parents. So you need parental consent to buy this game, which means the parents have to be okay with this. And if that's the case, then we're technically getting what we want. We're getting the parents' permission.
Yeah, and honestly, when it comes to that, I have not shamed anyone for either returning Starfield or choosing not to buy it because of the pronouns. That's your prerogative, because at the end of the day, I'm a principled libertarian. And when it comes to this, you have to realize the big picture. You have, people that relatively agree with each other now fighting with each other. And to people that are like, well, this little issue is what makes the snowball effect happen. Well, literally getting us to fight each other is what is keeping us from looking at the big picture and handling the big picture. So that's another thing too.
This is a catalyst moment that causes creators to be at their throats. A catalyst moment is usually, it occurs after creators form, like creator communities form, they expand, they reach their zenith. Then there's a catalyst that causes all of these creators to be at each other's throats. We all enter an abyss, and then new communities form to start it all over again. It happened with the Fandom Menace. I saw it with my own fucking eyes, and it's going to happen again. It's inevitable.
Here's the thing, man. This situation at Starfield has shown that there are people that are so obsessed with beating the other side that they are willing to abandon their principles. And that, to me, is where I cannot go with you. I agree with all of your sentiments. I think, that the whole gender ideology stuff is bullshit. Why are we fighting?
Here's a simple thing. Here's a simple thing. Here's a simple thing. If you take whatever media that someone's calling woke and move it back 15 years or 20 years to the 90s, and you watched it or played it still, without modern, like ultra hyperative woke senses, would you still see what's woke? Like Ahsoka, if you brought it back 20 years.
Ahsoka would be shit, not because it's woke, but because it's just a bad
Yeah, I know.
product.
But my,
you're
my point is
entirely
the girl parts thing wouldn't exist. You'd see it like a Xena or whatever it is.
No, because Xena was good. Don't
I
you
know.
blame that-
You get my point. We are so hypersensitive to this stuff in every way. There's no nuanced opinion about anything.
Yeah.
Like even the last episode, I'm just saying, like last episode of Ahsoka was a bad episode, but Balin won.
Creators want views, folks. We want to keep on going and keep
creators fuck the views. Be fucking honest. Have some fucking integrity. I don't give a damn about what creators want views. Then you're not being fucking genuine. Why are people gonna watch people like Dan Bask if they're just creating cultural bullshit because they want fucking views? Be honest.
It's like Mr. Krabs said, it's all about the money.
It's
like
really
not all
based, folks.
Definitely not all, but there are people that are clearly shown they're willing to abandon their principles in order to farm content and farm controversy. That is just what this whole entire situation has shown me.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna be quick because I realize we got to do super chats in a minute. But I honestly think what's going on is that people have not. A lot of people lately have been.
Back.
Hey, welcome back, Trace. But a lot of people, I believe, have been raced to basically just start fights. As in, people have not even gotten to a point where we can have dialogue between each other. Like I remember in the early 2000s, there were people that had disagreements with each other about a lot of things, but I still could just talk with someone and say, okay, look, I may not agree with your viewpoint, but we can both agree at least on this. And even if we may think two different extremes, at least we can talk about it, and we can still be friends, colleagues, whatever, and move on with our damn lives. Because I'm sure we all agree at least with a lot of core issues that need to be taken care of before we can focus on the other ones that we have disagreements on.
Hang together or be hanged separately. Remember that.
Sanguine Tail says, Leon, do you think most parents are checking what Game Pass games their kids download? I don't care. That's up to the parents. It's not up to Big Daddy Corporation or Big Daddy Government to censor that stuff or put that stuff in one way or the other for the kids. That is up to, that's what the ESRB is for. Anything beyond that is up to the parents. If the parents aren't monitoring what their kids are doing, then that's their fault for being shitty fucking parents.
Parental. Every console, every modern console offers parental control options.
And that can't be an excuse now because most parents now have played consoles. Most people and their parents have most likely played a modern console and they're technologically savvy now.
That's
it's not like when we were kids. Like I'm 35. When I was younger, my parents didn't know nothing about anything, right? Technology wise, right? But if I had a kid right now, I would know a lot more than he does about everything technology based. So there's no reason, unless you're an absent parent or lazy, to not be able to put parental controls on, because that's your console, not your kid's console. That's your console. You're playing Fortnite at night, or you're playing something at night to de-stress. You know what I mean? So that's my point. You can't say, parents don't know how to do it.
It is super chat time, and I know Atreus wants to speak, but
I want to do the super chats, and then Atreus is going to take over because I know he's got a lot to say. So let's do this really quick, ladies and gentlemen. Subtle Deviancy, thank you, my brother, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. I always see you in the chat. He also dropped the $5 super chat. Says, what's higher, Coach's hairline, Michelle Obama's prostate specific antigen level, Cass's testosterone level, or Atreus' crack pipe?
I think you mean my hairline.
I think you mean Ryan.
Yeah, I think you mean Ryan. Coach's hairline is perfectly fine.
He should be fine. If he's above 45 and not balding,
what a good person Ryan is. He stepped right in front of Coach. He's like, nah, that one's mine. I'll take that.
It's Cassie's testosterone level. She's always
because Coach is white.
When I pick on a tray.
It wouldn't be a Trey's crack pipe. It'd be his dad's. So,
oh my god, dude!
He got the crack stew pot too out of that.
That's a reference
for one deal.
For anybody
At
who
least he didn't run away.
Raven Rainfall became a member. Thank you, Raven. I appreciate you so much. Subtle Deviancy also did another 5. Says the first time that the first seal of the apocalypse has been opened is when a Puerto Rican is the voice of reason. Nice.
Big facts.
I appreciate that. That's good stuff.
That
Hell
was a
yeah.
great comment.
It was.
Yep.
Emily's Whimsical World became a member. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate you. Zombie Box Review says Tom is a terrific bloke. Great to see him here. Shout out to Tom.
I hope I didn't
Hell
change
yeah.
your opinion then.
Not quite. White Bear 2 for 350 says leave Seinfeld alone.
What?
No,
White
I
Bear,
think
we
somebody
need some
mentioned
context.
Seinfeld.
We weren't even talking about
I'll
Seinfeld.
protect his nose for you.
Hollywood Will Burn for 2 says woke is multicultural intersectional Marxism.
Yep.
Another
agree.
word for it, extremism.
I
People
agree.
forgotten that word.
Drunk 3PO for 499 says, yo, awesome to see Tom here. What's up, Drunk
Hell
3PO?
yeah.
I am not ignoring you
What
because
up?
that would be ignoring myself, sir, and that's impossible.
That's
Well,
impossible.
Talking
yourself,
player.
Hypnotic.
Zephyr for 2 says you can go to prison for misgendering up in Canuck. Yeah, that's becoming more
In Canuck.
common, and that
Hmm.
that really is a big problem. When I saw that Cali passed that law, and then you have who's the other state that
New Mexico.
No, there's
didn't they
another-
pass-
I'm talking
No,
about
that-
another
No,
another
New Mexico
state
had some
that
shit
did,
going down too, banning firearms for 30
that
days.
was it,
30
yeah,
days
yeah.
state of emergency, not allowing
bullshit
firearms.
Oh, that
state of
bitch.
emergency, yeah. That shit's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
just
crazy.
wild.
That
She
is
should go-
actual
she should go to
fucking
jail.
fascism.
Yeah, she should
Right.
go to
And,
We
jail.
are-
if
these
people
are
let that happen,
stepping
that's going to be a
stones.
problem. That's going to be a problem. Subtle Demon T again for 2 says Michael Kiske doesn't need to use pronouns. Fair enough. Hollywood Will Burn for 5 says Starfield does nothing new, original, or innovative, just like Elden Ring. Talk to Me is the best film this year. I can't wait for the Backrooms.
Oh,
Okay, fair enough.
that's interesting.
See, the thing is, though, Elden Ring, from
um,
software in general, that company knows
mm.
to play to their audience very well, and they do it in a way that surprisingly makes the word of mouth so strong that it draws in people that aren't necessarily their audience to begin with. They do like this weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but they really do a great job just focusing on their audience, which happens to bring more people in. It works great for them, and they
their
really
marketing.
they
Yeah,
really
and their
shouldn't
marketing is
stop.
great too. By the way,
Yeah,
they were able to. They got the Game of Thrones fans who were gamers with George R.R. Martin behind the story. They did better improvements from Dark Souls 3 into this game, added more RPG elements, open world elements. So yeah, it's nothing crazy innovative, but they knew what to improve on, and as a result,
the difficulty.
exactly. So they knew what to improve on, and that's why it became successful.
They know
Sometimes
exactly
all
what
you
they're
need.
doing, and that
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
the great thing, you know.
They are Chad game developers. That's pretty much what sums it up there.
Mhm.
And they always say and the one thing I liked is that they'll never lower their game standards just to please these fucking game journalists that complain about
They
their
won't
game.
lower the difficulty.
Right.
They
So
make
I
actual
like
games.
I like that. I like that a lot. Arthur Brown for 5 looks like Dragon Slayer's got some competition. Says ModDB is a decent Nexus alternative. They're apolitical and have said they intend to stay neutral. I've used them for Dawn of War mods.
They have really good Dawn of War mods. You are right, Arthur.
Okay.
There you go. Good to know. We got Justin Akinsolo for $9.99. Says sci-fi has always had non-binary beings in the genre, but they were aliens, not against NBs, but they aren't the large gaming audience. Power over acceptance is what they want.
I mean, yeah, you could say that, but at least for Bethesda's case, like I've been saying a lot to you guys, the whole pronouns thing, it probably was a last-minute decision that they made. You know, some that could be easily implemented into the program. They just added it in there so they can cover their bases and get as many people as possible to play the game. And to be honest, I need to ask you guys who played it, but did they give you like an option to not select a pronoun, or do you have to select?
No,
you got to
pick
select
one of
So,
three.
so how the game
pick
how
one.
the game plays it is that depending on what character you pick, if you pick a
Okay.
character that clearly looks like a male or clearly looks like a female, they give you the default. Like I made a knockoff James Dean because he's my favorite actor.
Of course.
He's
You
clearly
say
a
that all the
guy.
time.
So they gave us the default he him pronouns. It isn't like they specifically go out of their way to like, hey, please choose your pronouns now. No, it's just literally there. If you weren't told that it was there, you would just pass it and not even notice it.
Okay, and I'm guessing like the middle one is just for non-binary people or people that just don't want like
People that are
he,
clearly
him, she,
fucking
she, her, and
confused.
they, them.
Okay, well,
Question, in the character creation thing, do they allow you to make transgender people? Out of curiosity, because I have not played the game.
In a way, yeah.
Well,
You could do male voice with female body. You know, or you
Okay,
can
it's like
vice versa.
Hogwarts Legacy then. That's what you're telling
So it's
me.
not like
Kinda
Cyberpunk
like-
where it went really crazy and you can have like
Or Baldur's
mismatched
Gate.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, you can like morph your character to be like pretty. It's pretty open to character creator to you to kind of make whatever you want for the most part.
I just
Okay.
made a
Yeah.
straight white
But
male
can
that
I
has
do
gray
what I
hair.
The
always
hardest
do
thing to
for
be in the
Andy and make
universe.
Bruce Campbell,
Ryan made
because
the
that's
hardest
an
character to
important
play as.
question.
Yeah,
quick-
I'm a straight
I mean-
white Asian-looking fucker with gray hair and a gray beard, and I'm fat.
Quick
Like,
quick
hey,
thing
look,
about this super
it's-
chat that I wanted to mention really
Oh,
fast. Sorry,
sure,
Slayer, is that
sure.
the last sentence I very much agree with. And the thing is, you know, we hear all the time, and this is where a lot of people on the other side are going to probably say in the chat, we hear all the time, it's just pronouns, it doesn't matter, right? We hear it with other stuff too. Oh, it's just a fictional character, so the race doesn't matter, right? It's always XYZ, it's just XYZ, so it doesn't matter. But then the problem is that, okay, so it doesn't matter. Let's just, why did it matter to do it in the first place? And that's always my question, and nobody ever has an answer for. Not on maybe our particular side, but I'm talking like whenever I genuinely try to have conversations with people, and I know it looks like I troll them, but I actually genuinely try to have conversations with people. And
that's like
every
being
single
social on
time-
hard mode, Hypno. What are you talking? That's insane.
I know, but the problem is that when I actually try to have these conversations, like 9.5 out of 10, what ends up happening is the person just explodes, like either has like a re moment or just blocks me, right?
Yep.
And it always happens around the same time. It always happens around the time where I hit them with the same question. If it doesn't fucking matter, then why did it matter enough for you to do it in the first place? And almost none of them have an answer for that. And that's when the re's come out. That's when the yelling comes out. That's when the
Oh.
blocks happen. And I'm like, bro, I
can
just
give
want
you
an
an answer for that,
answer
Hypno.
to this goddamn question.
I
that
can give you an
matters
answer,
so
bro.
much. If it matters so fucking much to you, right?
Yeah.
Then why did you do it in the first place? And again, I already know the answer. The answer is not about, and like this comment says, the answer is
Sure.
it's about power. It's not about acceptance. They already
Yeah.
have acceptance.
Exactly.
This country
They
is
can do
one of the
power.
most. This country is
they're
one
actually-
of the most progressive countries. I would say almost in the world, aside from Canada.
Mhm.
Canada's fucking terrible, but this country is very accepting already. There's not a single right that any of these psychopaths that they don't have that we have, right? There's not a single right. So my thing is, why does any of this matter? It's only the white spaces that are getting diversified. Nobody's complaining about the NBA being overly black. Nobody's complaining about there being a BET channel.
I wanna
know
play.
you are, Ryan.
I am.
I know you.
I want to
It's like-
play.
It's like, why do you do this? You know what I mean? It's not about acceptance because you're already accepted. People don't give a fuck what you do. The problem is you want people to give a fuck about what you do. That's the issue. This is the same people. Sorry, I'm going on a little bit of a rant. This is the same people who I gotta get it out because I have like a fucking time period where I'm just gonna start coughing. It's gonna be annoying.
Okay.
I have people constantly tell me, and it's gaslighting. All of it is gaslighting. Every single bit of it's gaslighting about, oh no, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Okay, so if it doesn't matter, why'd you do it? You're fucking racist. I'm done with you. I can't talk with you anymore. I can't hear this. And that's why I mentioned earlier in the stream, like, if you're one of those people, they can't hear dissenting opinions, and you're gonna run away the moment you hear them. That's a problem. Like that's a problem inherently with you as a person, where you probably are in an echo chamber. And just because you're on the right side, like you're on the right wing, whatever you want to call it, of an echo chamber, doesn't necessarily mean that you're not an echo chamber. And that's another problem too. A lot of people, they believe, okay, well, I'm against them doing shit sexually with kids, so that means my echo chamber is okay. And it's like, no, you're still technically in an echo chamber, bro. You're still in an echo chamber. If you cannot
an echo
listen to
chamber of
anybody.
positive morals is still an echo chamber.
I can highly attest to this because, as I've told you guys before, I grew up being super left, and like if I was young nowadays, I probably would be one of these woke people. But I broke out of it. I had an awakening. But since I recognize that I broke out of one echo chamber, and I try to be very conscious of not falling into another one. Because like a lot of views I grew up with have changed. Some of them have not. I'm not like, jump to the complete opposite side like you were just saying, Hypnotic. But that's something that I try to be very aware of. I'm like, holy shit, I see the insane echo chamber I broke out of, and I didn't even realize it happening at the time. So I need to be aware that too many people think one side's good as one side is bad. I know so many fucking people who are super hardcore left, like consider themselves Antifa, SJWs, or whatever. And a lot of the time, they say they grew up in super strict, hardcore Christian like household.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they jump straight to the other side and think, okay, since that was bad, that means this is good, period. And like you were saying, Hypnotic, there's no dialogue, there's no nuance of both could be fucking insane. Both could be a little bit right about some things and a little bit wrong about other things.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, just to be
One
real, like
question,
I
though.
lost 4 subs from this live stream already. Just to be real.
One
I'm sure.
question though.
One
is
day you'll get
we
25.
cannot meet in the middle anymore because they want the middle to be
A
like
war
They're
zone?
tied.
nowhere near where center used to be on the Overton window.
Yeah.
So
There is
like
no
there
middle
is no
anymore.
meeting in the middle right now because even I have friends that are much more progressive, much more lefty, and I tiptoe sometimes just because I've known them my entire life. But I went past that last week after whatever because I heard that like, oh, we're gonna transition our kid, and that's when I'm just like, okay, no, I'm the godfather of the kid. I'm like, and I'm just like, no, you're not doing this. I talked to the kid. They don't want to do it. There's was doing this for brownie points.
What?
Oh no,
Fuck,
yeah.
yo.
Fucking
Yeah.
monsters.
No, and that's the thing.
I'm not gonna lie. What you said
Yeah.
literally just gives
Yeah.
me fucking
Yeah,
So
goosebumps
what I'm
chills,
saying,
man.
I don't care if I'm in an
disgusting.
echo chamber
Fuck,
on this
bro.
side. This side is not doing things to kids.
Yeah.
This side is
right.
not
Well,
hiding films
I
about
wouldn't
doing.
say that because you've got a lot of right wing, like Catholic priests or whatnot that do shit.
Yeah,
to
but
kids.
that's-
so
okay.
you know.
What
Yeah,
about
but-
right-wing Muslims, Leon? Let's talk about the
Oh,
Islamic
God.
community's
I'm
sexual
talking about the
We
people
don't
in
get
our
religion.
sphere.
My point
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
I wouldn't say.
I'm not
I'm
talking
just
about
saying, don't say the right doesn't do
ultra-right-wing.
things to kids.
Like,
Everyone, bad people on both sides do shit to kids. Is all
I'm just saying in our sphere. I'm saying in our
Yeah.
sphere.
Here's the
let's
thing.
get
We,
yeah,
we
yeah.
live in such a unique generation in which we've seen both extremes. Like they have both taken place within our lifetime. So we've seen how it was with far right ultra religious shit that was high on censorship, hiding the fact that priests were diddlers. We've seen that
Yeah, but
shit.
that
and
wasn't
now
governmental hiding. That was
no, that was a part of the
church. That's a difference.
Catholic Church.
So
yes,
I'm just
but
saying.
we've seen all sorts of things that revolve around that general sphere, that particular decade in which that was kind of the big thing. Now it's like it has shifted to now this side is on some extreme shit as well. That is insane. Like what you said gave me goosebumps
Yeah.
when the child literally said that they don't even want to be a part of this shit.
Oh yeah, I got the
horrifying
kid out of the
me.
house. I got the kid out of the
Good.
house.
We
Good.
live in a
Yeah.
tornado, folks. Think of it. Politically speaking, socially speaking, culturally speaking, we're in a tornado. There are all sorts of topsy-turvy different events, all these different points of view and agendas. Mapping it down is very difficult.
Don't say
Leon-
map.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
He
but
got
I
me.
do want to.
But I
Yeah.
will say, ladies and gentlemen, that we need different
Mhm.
perspectives now more than ever. It's great that I've got to know
Yeah.
words. It's great to get Cassie's viewpoint. It's a shame Atreus is not here so we can get his take. Although I will say that Coach has been a bit quiet. which
Yeah,
is
no,
great.
I've been listening a lot, and it's been super interesting also to get all the points of views. Because in the end, I think it's all clear to us that the agenda that we're discussing was artificially introduced into our field of awareness. So they want us to talk about this. They know exactly what kind of ripple effect it has on our consciousness, on our behavior, on just the way we're, kind of thinking about it. So it already attracts our curiosity, rightfully so. Because of course, in a way, it's a virus, if you want to call it so. It's
an
something that
infestation.
it's an infestation that kind of, it stains us in a very unpleasant way because it creates those rifts.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Now, get real.
Welcome, Casey.
Hi. Yes.
Yeah,
Came to a
I'm
hot
not,
topic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. But my bad, y'all. I'm like on location, like I'm working from like Hershey, PA, and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm in dark
Like
mode right
45
now.
minutes for me.
I know, isn't that crazy? Like we really do need to like link up before it starts snowing. But
No, I want chocolate.
what's up, everybody? Can y'all hear me well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it-
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
I'm
What's
fine.
up, Casey?
What
Is
is
it
going
okay? Was it
on?
being weird and silent for everyone else? Or was that
What?
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 was the? I think I need to refresh my thing. Sorry, one sec, because everyone got like weird and silent for a moment.
That might be
I-
your
Okay,
connection.
that's fine.
Well,
My
I
bad.
mean, I do want to.
It's
But
good
go
to
ahead,
see
keep
that
going.
Casey is reality based, and Dragon wants to speak, so let's let Dragon speak.
No,
Oh,
don't let
God.
Dragon speak because it'll never
Dragon
end.
speak.
No,
Let
no.
Dragon
Oh
speak.
my God.
You don't
All
want
right,
to
now.
speak.
Gee,
But
thanks, Ryan,
here's
for
the
the
Take a
true
bathroom
travesty.
break. Go to a bar.
When it comes to Starfield, the true travesty is this pronoun shit has taken away the conversation on what to me is the greatest travesty of Starfield. The tremendous amount of obesity that is witnessed when you go
I
to
feel
any
personally attacked.
populated planet. I apologize. I don't hate you. I
I'm just
hate
saying-
them for making
Oh,
obese
hey.
people in Starfield. That is not a future
It's
I want. As
realistic.
someone, I was 60 pounds heavier a little over a year ago. Okay, so it's out of
Damn.
having
Can
been
you
there,
lose the weight
done
in
that.
the game?
So you can
No.
choose to be obese, and also there's just
agree.
a fuck ton of obese NPCs, and that's not a future that I want personally.
Hey,
Not
look,
every
hey,
guy
hey,
is
hey,
Wall-E, though.
You
Guys
live in a
like
fucking
this.
right now.
accurate.
I already know that if Cage sees an obese bandit in the game, she will kill it in the most brutal way possible.
Can you
but
starve them?
to
Can you
an-
starve them? I'm just curious. Like,
oh God!
can you like
I
cast
don't
them in a
know.
ship by themselves, kill the
Oh,
engine, and just let them
Jesus.
sit there and watch them slowly die?
Oh my
There's got to be a
Oh
way.
my God!
That's
But I do,
hilarious.
I would
want
love
to.
to see that.
No, but I do want to
Remember a
mention.
mod. Look,
I was
here,
on your
I will
live.
go. I will go on a tirade if they remove mods that remove fat people from Starfield. That I will go on a deranged tirade. I will be like heel versus babyface on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned because I'm sure
I'll
Nexus
do the
Mods
Oh,
is
same.
my
going
goodness.
to say bet. That is what
I'll do
Nexus
the
Mods is
same.
going to do.
Yo,
Instead of
that
being boring,
last
they're
live,
fat.
yo, nah, Cassie's last live had me crying. Like you were going off about the fat people. You were going off about that guy. I don't even know who he was with the voice. And
Oh,
then
Dreamcast guy.
oh
Ugh.
god, it was hilarious.
That guy is pretty
People
terrible.
call him Moonface guy. It's hilarious because
Oh,
he
It's as
does have
bad as the
craters.
Dreamcast.
Let me just finish. Let me finish the
Damn.
super chats and then
Oh, yeah,
we'll
yeah,
keep
we got-
going because I still have a couple more. Kyoko Fulgarian, thank you, Leon, for saying exactly what I thought. So there you go. You got Subtle Demon Seeper 2 says White is listening to Dude Looks Like a Lady. Nice. And here's a little bit of Inception. We got that girl Casey for 5 says Hypnotic trying to convince people that he's really trying to have a conversation with these crazy people. What's up, fam? What's up, chat? Well, Casey's actually
Hey,
here now.
what's up,
She can say
Casey?
what's up.
Yeah, I had another
Hey,
one.
what up?
Yeah, listen,
Oh.
the conversation real quick. Shout out. Oh man, are you still going? I'm sorry, Hypnotic.
I got one more. That's it. Subtle Demon Seeper 2 says I was thin before Hypno introduced me to burritos. I'm sorry,
Man,
Subtle. I
He's gonna
apologize,
get
man.
us.
I know it's rough out there. I apologize.
Such a racist.
All right,
joke.
Casey, go ahead.
Shout out to
Sorry.
Listen, shout out to TheRogueAttraction. Nice to meet you. I appreciate everything you were saying. You were saying, like, you know, on the right, I hear y'all with the echo chambers. You know, let me tell you, when I try to get out of an echo chamber, is definitely when it comes to geopolitical affairs with like wars and everything. So a lot of times, classic liberals, not these little crying leftist kids, but classic liberals like Jimmy Dore or you know the Gray
right
Zone
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly,
like you
Don't
know,
try to
like-
start
like-
fire, Leon.
like certain journalists, they talk about actual geopolitical things in the right way, where they're not just saying America's the greatest, America's the greatest. Our establishment has done a lot of things in other countries that they should not have been doing. So I usually get the real news through classic liberals or through people from other countries, because conservatives have this thing about saying, well, you know, as an example with this Ukraine war, it's like, well, you know, Ukraine's fighting for us. Like they say the same thing that Joe Biden says, like, well, we need to have Ukraine fight for us so we don't have to fight Russia. And I'm like, what does that mean? That's
You
absolutely
can't watch any
insane.
mainstream news. You can't watch any
does not-
mainstream
Right,
news.
no, but it's not even just mainstream news, because I definitely don't do that. But it's like when General Keith Kellogg comes on a conservative talk show and he's saying the same thing, and I'm like, bro, we are committing a Ukrainian genocide, and for what? Like we're a part of that. You know what I mean? So because the people over there, the civilians, they didn't do anything to me. You know, the young girls who are there now putting in the war, but whatever. This is not that channel, right? Sorry, I did go on a rant, but what I will say, there is one echo chamber I need us all to be in, is the echo chamber of fleshing out all of this crazy mess. Because one thing about our policies as whatever, you know, conservative, Republican, patriots, whatever, libertarians, we don't like make policies about taking children out of homes if you won't mutilate them. You know what I mean? So, like Canada has that. I mean, California is they have that going on where like, if you don't affirm the gender, we got to take your kid out. You know what I'm saying? And that's a democratic policy.
Too accurate with that pronunciation.
Well said, Casey. Well said.
So that's what's been going on with you, Casey. You're like,
yeah.
If I was feeling, a little bit horrible, I would say, Atreus, you transition very quickly there. But I really do like Casey, so I'm not going to say.
Dang, bro.
I'm glad you didn't
Ryan's
say
on it
that,
today.
Ryan.
Yeah, for once we're glad you didn't go after Casey.
Casey is not trans Atreus. Atreus did not leave and then come back to Casey.
All right, so I got
What
question.
happened?
I got one question. So,
Sure.
how much of this do you guys think is manufactured outrage?
All of it.
That's a good
90%.
question.
All of it.
I have to give a shout out.
I think
Go ahead, Cassie.
I have to give a shout out to Vex Electronica because she was talking a little bit about this. She was saying she thinks that a lot of this is manufactured specifically because with this writer strike, there isn't that much to talk about when it comes to woke, anti-woke, outrage, farming. So it has become sort of difficult in that sense. So I do feel as though this particular hit to Starfield, especially coming from people that humbly endorsed Hogwarts Legacy, and I said, yo, just to take it to people that are trying to demand that you do not buy this game or say that you are an ist, a phobe, just because you buy the game. I bought that game to spite motherfuckers like that. And I will support Starfield to spite people that are going to say, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You're supporting woke ideology. Oh, the pronouns is bad. Like, people are trying to convince us to not talk good about Starfield, do not buy it, or that blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, stop trying to tell people what the fuck to do. I think that the outrage on Hogwarts Legacy side was more extreme. Don't get me wrong, but this is the same tainted root of, well, you're bad if you support you talk good about this game. That's not. There's more nuance to it than all that.
Well, I was going to say, folks, this situation is a great example of what will happen to creators when establishment entertainment does not exist. Creators
or if it becomes good.
Yes, or if it becomes good. I think if the entertainment establishment crumbles, mainly in terms of movies and TV series as an example, because it is awful, there won't be as much problem to highlight, if you know what I'm trying to say. And situations like these will become more common and creators will turn on each other. That's my
look at it. What are some of the biggest channels right now? Are they even talking about entertainment? No. They're talking about relationships. They're talking about hypergamy. They're talking about manosphere or whatever
don't
it
get me
is.
starting that shit.
But I'm just saying.
No, you're right.
You have them taking another aspect that everyone has a volatile opinion on. Both sides are incendiary about it, and they're going to talk about it. So yeah, people are already starting to move away from culture war this or start, they're already starting that. They're already seeing the writing on the wall. That's my point.
And one of the biggest differences though between the Starfield nonsense and the Hogwarts Legacy nonsense is that with Hogwarts Legacy though, the people who were actively against that game were trying to dox people.
They were straight up trying to dox, trying to ban people.
That I think goes overlooked too, because that pissed off a lot of people to make them want to buy the game just to say screw you.
Oh no! And unstoppable consistency with this. Like if there's nothing else, if you're going to be in this culture war space of YouTube, whether you be on the right or the left, whatever, give us some fucking philosophical consistency, because Hogwarts Legacy is objectively more woke than Starfield is. But people are making a far bigger deal on the right wing side of things about Starfield.
But J.K. Rowling's buying Hogwarts Legacy, not
because the left already got
mad. It was like with Hogwarts Legacy, it was mostly the fact that, honest to God, they did not give a crap. These people that we're talking about, they did not give a crap about Hogwarts Legacy until J.K. Rowling made a post about it on Twitter, I believe, or social media, and news articles came out, and these people hate her with a passion. Because she doesn't take their side any longer because she claims she is a leftist, but does not like gay and trans people, and so
No,
she does not
gay
like.
part's not there. Yeah.
Yeah, the gay part, no, but like the trans people. Apologies, you're right. But these people, once they saw her make this comment, bam, the whole thing started. And then, guess what?
I saw that too. Words.
Bags. That was the
did see
funniest
that
fucking
too.
comment I've seen all night.
Hey, look. I saw it now.
Yeah. Thank you, Salty, for derailing
Salty.
Dragon. All right, then.
I can't take it.
Look, no. Come on. You're right, bro.
Spectro, they, them.
Spectre
Oh
Zimmer.
my
Oh my god. No,
I
but
could literally buy that game on the Xbox One, and I haven't.
yeah,
I
but
really
it's
You can't
actually
afford
good.
it.
It's actually a genuinely good game. Like the
Okay.
trans character they're talking about, like nobody cares. It
I
comes
still
off
have-
one time and that's it. But to get my point across, the people that were criticizing Hogwarts Legacy with this kind of passion that they were doxing people are the exact same people that went to a Harry Potter fan convention and caused chaos.
Yeah,
All
that's one
because
thing I
people
wanted
like
to add
Harry
in
Potter.
is that I've tried to look into all the J.K. Rowling stuff and read her tweets and everything, and I have to say that the woke smear campaign against her is one of the most evil fucking things I've ever seen.
Well,
They're
yeah,
fucking
Yeah,
insane.
no, J.K.
I mean,
Rowling,
her goal-
she's fucking amazing. I mean, I've never read her
Yeah.
books, but she's a great writer. I've read her tweets. Like,
But here, I've read her tweets as well, and really, her goal with this awareness is simply to protect women's only spaces,
Yeah.
and that should be fucking protected. Even if I think she's a radical feminist bitch, she's right.
I mean, she is,
Right.
but she's always
Like-
been that way.
Right, like that's
Yes.
the thing. I don't even think that she even said, "Oh, I don't like trans people." She just was saying that a man is not a woman. Like you can't
Flip
be
that.
me
Yeah.
just because you put on a wig and some shoes. You're not me. And that was
Yeah,
probably
coach.
the only thing besides that and her creativity. That's probably the only thing that I agree with her about. But I don't have to like. I like her creativity, right? But
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, because when Matt Walsh came to like, you know, what I mean, back her up on it, she was like, "I don't need you." In this conversation, and I was like,
Oh, goodness.
And I mean, so trust me, there's
to
nothing.
be fair, I wouldn't want Matt Walsh coming to my aid either. Fuck that dude.
No, like Matt,
I'll
look,
take all the help I can get, folks.
I'll take
I'm
the
not
monetary
picky.
help. Sure. Yeah.
But,
No,
yo,
but the-
Leon, happy birthday!
No, it's not
No,
my
no,
birthday.
it's Hypno's
the
channel's
2-year anniversary
birthday.
of Hypno's channel. So I was
Yeah.
wearing this to celebrate Hypno's channel
sorry.
birthday.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know
Nice.
it was a special occasion.
Yeah, I thought we
Did you
this
just
already.
assume his
Okay.
birthday?
Way to assume his age and birthday. Great.
oh my god, how could you bigot?
But thank you.
All right.
That was really sweet of you. I do appreciate it.
And I'm like, didn't we do this already? All right.
No, but
I
like the
can't
reason
even
I
see
said,
that, Casey. You have way better eyesight than I do. I
Oh,
can't
goodness.
even see.
I mean, it's pretty
that.
obvious, I would
God
think.
damn.
But
Oh,
yeah,
crap.
pretty bad.
no, but like to be honest with the whole like when I said like she's not into trans people is like when she said, "Oh, I just don't think trans women are actual women." Like that's not what I think. To these people, that means
that?
you hate trans people in general. Even if that's not true, that is what they think. And I do have to make it clear, I am sorry, everyone in the bench and on the panel in the chat, you're right. She mentioned specifically trans women's in women's spaces. I did forget that because it's been so goddamn long and I could give less of two shits about that because it's not my battle. Okay. If women want to fix that goddamn problem, do it yourself
hates
because
women
men have
confirmed.
tried so many fucking times to help you, and every time you're like, "No, how could you? You
Don't do
fucking
that.
bigot." So
Are
you know what?
possessed
Don't
by
do that.
something.
Not
That's
all.
why. That's why
I'm
I
just
call
saying.
everyone demons because they're possessed
Yeah,
by
like
something.
okay,
Whether it's
okay, maybe,
ideology or
Yeah.
sexuality or
Hmm.
or politics, it's
Yeah.
possession.
Or male pattern baldness.
Fuck you,
Oh,
you
I
have
don't
AIDS.
know.
Timdall, bro. Timdall is
Right?
At
rough.
some point, you just have to embrace the baldness and just get rid of all of it and,
I
Hey.
don't
and just wear
want to
hats.
be
Bro.
as with
Rogue
glasses
Fraction.
on
I've
which-
now
I
seen
agree.
I've now seen your head more than Tim Pool's, and I've been watching him for like 4 years. So
Yeah, because I'm not
Yeah.
ashamed of my baldness. I just like hats.
Yeah, yes,
That is a
Timdall.
splendid
They
hat,
are
I gotta say.
Decepticons, and yes, Steve, I have no plans to put on a summer dress and a floral bonnet and go into a woman's bathroom. Fuck no. Okay, no, I do not have a desire
man.
for that.
I think
Okay,
you're right.
It's always
That'd be
worn a
weird to
kilt,
find a
though.
dress
Like,
that
I'm
would
just
fit your
saying, they're
dragon
nice,
body.
they're airy. You know, they give some breathability.
Kilts are exceptions, but even then, you go to the men's bathroom. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can wear a
I think
kilt.
I think
don't
it's
know.
important to make note of the fact that we need to be aware of our mental health. I feel as though there's a lot of people that are so involved in fighting this culture war that it is eating away at their
Driving them
ability
insane.
to be likable, at their
Yeah.
ability to hold conversation with people, their ability to be with family. For like, there's a lot of people that are so involved that it does take away from the now and they themselves as a person. So I think it's just important to at least be aware that sometimes you got to walk away from it. Like, there's
Yeah.
been times where I've deleted Twitter for like 5 days until I'm like, I'm compromised right now. I'm deleting this shit because in the state that I am right now, you know, when in the moment I did end up deleting my Twitter, it is problematic if I get on this app. So I'm just going to delete it until I'm in a better mental situation, and then I come back to it. Like, yeah, because that it's important to be self-reflective. That's what I want to communicate.
Absolutely.
I want to be clear.
creation
I
is
was
great
not
point.
laughing at you. I was laughing at the fact that Arthur Brown made the point that Ryan looks like Lenin with a beard.
Oh, fuck you! You're not the only person. Who
It kind of caught me off guard.
I am not a communist, but content creation.
I am not a communist.
I never designed.
As I was going to
I
say,
am a Marxist.
shut up.
No, I will not, you fucking cunt.
What I was trying to highlight, although Cassie was speaking, mental illness is everywhere, unfortunately, and content creation, shorts video making, and live streaming can drive people to passion, to anger, and to damn right insanity. I have seen creators just go batshit crazy in front of a camera, and it's funny, but yeah, it's not good.
Well,
No,
there's nothing
yeah,
wrong
I
with this.
mean,
I want to be
A
clear.
mental
Like, there's
breakdown
nothing
is
wrong
not
with being
worth the
passionate.
views.
No, not at all.
There's nothing
No.
wrong with being passionate, and I could appreciate. That's why, like, when I was watching Az's rant, you know, I even said in my video, I was like, yo, nobody rants like he does, because I can appreciate the passion that was there, and the genuine feeling of like, I'm just fucking fed up. Like, I'm fed up. I'm angry, and you can agree with the way he did it or not. That doesn't matter. I just appreciate that what he was saying was actually genuinely what he was thinking, and not just some like bullshit, you know.
And that was 20
the ads
hours
video was
after he
awesome,
played
like-
the game.
When I made my video, you know, I called it, and I made an inflammatory title because fucking YouTube, but I called it Starfield's not woke, you're just dumb. And the amount of comments I got talking about how Az was right, I'm like, yeah, Az was right. There's a reason he's not in the video. Like, it proves you didn't watch the video because I didn't put anything about Az in my video because I agree with Az. My whole video was about fucking Dan Vest's like thought process, but people don't watch your fucking the videos.
Music wars.
Wait,
Az
why
was
did you wait
totally
30 hours into
correct.
the game to give you that choice?
The
I love
same exact
fucking,
thing happened to me, dude.
Yeah,
Same thing
Hypnotic,
happened.
when you
Like,
were
I was
posting
posting
that.
the pictures, and I'm like, did you watch the fucking video? Like, I literally said I agree with everything he said. I just don't necessarily have that same level of like reaction. That's all I
Yeah.
was saying. And then I
That's
was getting
why-
a ton of comments like, I stand with Az. And I'm like, great, I stand with him too.
cool.
I'm
Me
glad
too.
we're on the same page here.
That's why I put him on the front and center of my thoughts regarding Az's Starfield pronoun rant. Him highlighting the problem, as it were, being very passionate, and it did very well for me. And I didn't get much of a pushback, except from a Nintendo Switch dick rider who is he's a disingenuous cunt, and he hasn't made a video in a month because the Nintendo Switch is dying. The Switch 2 will come out, and he'll have something else to dick ride off of.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Cancel this claim.
Gotta love it.
You know, it kind of reminds me also, like, today is insane. I literally just saw like this tweet about somebody saying, oh, you know, I think his name is Sam Whitaker, like the voice actor for Maul in the Clone Wars and from that Star Wars The Force Unleashed game, the main character. You know, guy is an awesome voice actor and really is awesome in general. And all I said was like, oh yeah, this guy is great. You know, it'd be great if we had George Lucas direct a movie with him as the main character and make sure that Kathleen Kennedy is not even anywhere near involved in that production. And next thing you know, some dude is like, Tell me you know nothing about this woman's filmography without telling me you know nothing about this woman's filmography. And I'm like,
also,
I can see that person in my mind, by the way.
No, I can also see
I said it
Kathleen
word for
Kennedy being on her
word.
knees for half the time.
Bro,
Oh,
I am going to
oh.
show you the damn comment to show you. I said it word for word. It is so stupid. It is so fucking stupid.
I forgot who said that Kathleen Kennedy is like the Hillary Clinton of the movie industry.
yeah,
but
that
The
would have
other
been
thing
Ryan
is
who said it
her,
last
her
stream.
husband. Her husband is so powerful. Was it Frank Marshall? Right?
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
I know
doubt that at
something
all.
that happened to a previous Kennedy that should probably happen to this one.
Wait.
It might.
Yeah, I got
Clinton and Kennedys are different things.
How could you?
That's super dark. Holy shit.
Also, I said nothing bad, Hillary. I said nothing bad.
Yeah, you're gonna get all sniped
I've
right
met
now.
that lady
I
in
don't
person. It's
co-sign
not
either.
fun.
Red dots.
Look, guys, look, show my screen, Hypno, so you guys can see that I said this word for word.
Yeah, this is great.
See? Exactly word for word.
I
in the
can't
same
see that.
condescending tone.
Why is it always an anime profile picture?
It is.
I can't
Wait,
even
that's
look at
Twitter.
that.
I'm suspicious of
Well,
anyone with an
anime
anime
profile
profile.
picture.
I said
Like,
that the other
look
day,
at,
and I
like-
had people with anime profile pictures. They were like,
Yeah.
"It's not all of us. I promise." I'm like,
It is all of you.
Bro,
No,
It's a lot of
like,
It's so annoying because
look, you know what? I'm
I
fucking
mean-
showing this dude. Like, what the fuck
Like-
is jumping core?
Go ahead, Casey.
What's
Go ahead.
Casey
Sorry.
like I want to argue
go ahead.
with people, right? But like I feel like annoyed to argue with somebody that has like a cartoon profile. But like I like a good argument.
Hey.
Oh, and
I also
pronouns,
like
by the
punching
way.
down.
He, him pronouns.
You
I
know,
forgot
like,
to
I
mention
just
that.
be-
Like, hello. You know.
Damn.
I just came at my boss. My bad. Sorry, sir. I like
That's crazy.
I like
That's crazy.
No. You don't call him boss. You
That's
call
crazy.
him
That's
master.
crazy.
Dang.
Oh,
shit.
Hypno, Wood, Cassie, Film Rebel, probably Rogue Attraction,
Sorry.
and I'm the only.
I love
and
avatars.
Coach uses his own face. Me
My,
and Coach
it's
are
my
the only-
face. I just drew it.
Yes, but it's an animation.
The crazy
Yeah,
thing is,
but
a
it's
lot of those
me now, it's not
profiles, they're
someone
they're very clearly fake profiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get what
Yeah.
Casey was going. I'll let you finish, Casey. I'm sorry, but
No.
you know, with these profiles, I do the same thing too. Like I want to like respond. I want to get something out of them, like some sort of like, I don't know. But then I realized like one or two responses in, I'm like, this is definitely a 60-year-old man who's overweight pretending to be an anime profile picture. Like I know this is a troll and I really should not be doing this. So I just stop. You know,
Hey,
and then eventually they end up
Lebanese
blocking me
Australian
anyway when
troll,
I don't
mind you.
respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I like I said, I love a good argument. Like I'm like, yo, let's get it. But a lot of times I go on their profiles and I could tell like, okay, follows like 4 people or something. Like, I don't know, it's like a weird profile,
Mhm.
barely has any posts, and I'm like, damn. And I'm disappointed because I'm like, no
I
fun.
want to
Oh,
fight.
dude, I
I
got
have a-
into
I have
a
a
great
question
Twitter
for everyone.
argument
Question.
like fucking last night because someone was throwing a fight. Like I'm all for parental rights and you know what they're doing, like to monitor their kids' shit. But someone was throwing a fit about how like children's schools, middle schools are allowing Five Nights at Freddy's books, and that's not appropriate for children. And I had this big Twitter exchange with them, like, this Five Nights at Freddy's isn't fucking genderqueer, okay? It's fine.
Not yet.
It's Goosebumps. It's like Goosebumps. Like
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for everyone, and this is just a simple thing. So,
Yay.
what happened between the '90s, where we had the most amount of diverse entertainment that I can think of?
I agree.
Like you think
Yep.
about like Fresh Prince of Bel Air was one of the
Yes.
highest viewed shows on
Yep.
TV. You
Martin.
had
The
Urkel
Cosby
being
Show,
the
Blade.
biggest. Yeah, you had Urkel being like one of the
Yep.
biggest names.
Hip
on
hop
the
music
planet.
became the #1 music in
Michael
the
Jackson,
world.
Michael Jackson, NWA, all of this stuff, Tupac, big, like everything like that. And then all of a sudden we got to like the mid 2000s, and suddenly, oh my God, there was no diversity anywhere before 2000. Like, what happened? No one said anything. My favorite movie growing up was Blade. I love
Yep.
Blade. I love
Yep.
Wesley Snipes Blade.
Yeah.
I read every Blade comic
Never-
book.
Never seen
And
it.
now it's like I feel like if I go to the wrong place and I start talking about Blade, they look at me weird. Like I go
Yeah.
to a comic shop nearby and I'm talking Blade, they're like, why?
No,
Like,
I until Sam Raimi's Spider-Man came out, my favorite movie up to that point was Men in Black.
Yeah.
Wait, why do they look at you weird for talking about Blade?
I know.
Yeah.
You guys
there's
can't like
comic book
things
shops
that
around
are
me.
black people.
Yeah, like
What?
Wait, I
I-
didn't hear what he said. Because what? Because you,
I was going through looking for some in the short racks for some Blade comic books from ones missing from my collection, and they just looked at me weird for looking for Blade comic books.
How old
Like-
were the people? Like, who were the people looking at? Like, cause I find it weird that they were looking at you weird.
They
You
were
know what I
like
mean?
probably in their early 20s, the ones
Yep,
working in the
that's
shop.
what it is.
The
My
owner
age.
wasn't there.
You know?
The owner wasn't there, and the owner I know because there's only one. I live in Florida. I'm on the beach. There's only like one comic book shop. There's a 95-year-old guy who owns it, who's like older than dirt, and he has a bunch of young people working there. And like once a month, he comes in and says hi.
I can't answer your question, Rogue, because I was born in 1999.
Oh God!
I
so let me tell you what it is. What I'm noticing with that generation, right, is that they've been told that like, oh, which is insane, right? Blade, something that I know nothing about as a Black woman, but like my Black friends love it. I know, right? They're like, I love Blade, like, you know, but I'm like the outsider, right? But a lot of people love Blade, right? But that generation, that young 20 generation, 18, 19, 21, of course, not everybody. There are provide your own not alls. They feel like, oh,
you mean me and
they're
Ryan
stepping in the Black space by doing that. They're safe spaces, or, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, you're doing it. These kids are afraid of their own shadow. They're afraid to offend.
I was the white kid in the Black fraternity in college.
Huh?
I was the white kid in the Black fraternity in college. Like I went to school I went to school in
hell.
Rutgers. Like I was
for your education.
Piece of shit.
Wait, how old are
Ryan
you?
would've followed if you were
And then I
out
don't
of
mean to like ask you about your age in front of everybody. But like,
I'm
how old
35.
are you? Yeah, you see, there you go. So you can see the like.
Yeah, I grew up in a different racial time, and there's a lot less of this BS.
People were just
Hell
people.
by 2023 standards, I mean.
Yeah.
Not
It is
1990s,
insane.
2000 standards.
Like I sometimes wish I had a bullhorn loud so everybody could hear me. Like I'm trying to scream to people like, who cares about all this other stuff? Like, oh, we have to have this safe spaces. Come on, you're the white man stepping into the Black. Shut up. Like, shut up. Like, just shut up. Like, I wish I could tell people like the next person who tries to do that to you, like, just laugh at them, point at them.
They don't
laugh.
understand that
Like,
appreciating culture together is a way for people to get along.
Exactly. Yeah. They
Like
think
I love,
it's so
I
neat.
love like curried goat soup. I have a Jamaican neighbor who makes it for me all the time. Like I have no problem
It
eating
is
that.
pretty
I
good.
love
It's actually good, Ryan.
I love interacting with other cultures, and that food always seems to be a way where people are less judgy.
Oh yeah.
So if you go like to like, I
I
love
hung
going
out
to
with
dive
Coach's Italian
restaurants.
friends. They just talked about food the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very, it's a very
there's only
decent
one
in the
way.
80s, in the late 80s, it was a huge deal. The band Living Color was an all-black rock band. Like, that was unheard of, but they were fucking massive.
They're
And
good.
no
I've
one
seen them.
really, no, it
You
wasn't
seen them
like,
live?
You seen him live?
Yeah.
That's
Sweat.
awesome. Do they hold up?
Damn.
Yeah, they're good.
Sweet.
shout out to Film Rebel. for all
I mean, it's one of
All right,
those
let's finish
things
up
where,
Starfield,
like,
and then we're gonna move on. All right, guys. Go ahead, Cassie.
Okay.
it's a thing where I grew up listening to like Elvis and you know Diana Ross and the Supremes, Donna Summer, Aaliyah. Like I didn't think of any of this as race because as a little kid, like I don't care about that. I just like how pretty you sound when you sing, and I adored that stuff. Like it wasn't about race, color. It made no difference to me. I was like listening to these people when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I grew up in an atmosphere where it's like we just get along based upon if we can get along together. It's not based upon, you know, ethnicity or any of that shit. I just wanted to hang out with people that wanted to hang out with me. And we would, you know, obviously bring different lights to the table. And I've always had friends of you know, different backgrounds. So I always like picked up on different cool things. And that's why I'm into all sorts of things, because I've had all different types of friends. We all like different stuff. And that's what's awesome about being like, you know, into different cultures and being willing to reach out. Now they're just putting this fucking wall between us. And it becomes very difficult to bridge that gap when everything is so hyperly racial, when it's like, bro, like just be chill about it. Let's hang out.
I feel you there. Like one of my favorite artists growing up was R. Kelly. I haven't heard anything out of him in a while. Is there any? What's he been?
You like? Are you a fan of his videos?
I'm about the best. I
pull out the shower.
I don't care.
I grew up
honestly-
listening to Pitbull, folks. That's how I get on.
I cannot see that, man.
I'm calling
I
bull.
cannot
But
see
like,
that.
It's my neighbor.
Cole,
My neighbor.
remember Cole?
And Usher,
That's your neighbor.
and
Wow,
Will I
that's so
Am.
cool.
and Michael Jackson later on in his career.
Remember, Coach,
when I was 10, you couldn't tell me shit about Alicia Keys. I would fucking fight you. Now she's a bitch and I can't fucking stand her. But like those first 4 albums, I can listen to them from start to finish. And from like a 10-year-old to a teenage, like into my early 20s, I was one of the biggest fucking Alicia Keys fans.
I remember when we were saying like, you know that there's at least one Michael Jackson song that everybody likes, even like a KKK member, everybody could rock to like at least one Michael Jackson song. Like that's what
Love Never Felt So Good
White,
with Justin Timberlake. That was released
true,
after Michael Jackson.
Why it's
death,
top
so
quality,
that
but it's
was
why
one
the
hell of a
system,
good song.
yeah, the system, stopped the development of real quality, because the problem with real quality is that everybody can agree on this planet on what great quality is. That's why you have like artists like Bob Marley, you have artists like Michael Jackson, you have artists, like also Diana Ross, like many others, like where everybody can agree on this is great music and I can vibe with that, right? And I just feel in a great mood, and that kind of connects people. No, we want everybody to be highly politicized, to have even more like stratified and specific and complex opinions on everything, on art, on entertainment. So there's always room for controversy. Basically what this is, it's the cookie, the poison cookie that always sparks the controversy. No, but she is this. No, I heard she's that. Always, that all of a sudden forms our opinion on what taste should be. Instead of living like great art and kind of listening or watching, great entertainment and kind of forming your own opinion, what kind of movies you gravitate towards to, what kind of music you like to listen to most, and what kind of, art you like to see at the museum. No. We listen now to the opinion makers, whether or not there is this tendency of accepting this artist for whatever other thing except as art or not. And that is ludicrous, because now we're basing our understanding of culture on agendas and tendency that are always introduced not by the culture, not by the people, but by the system itself.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Another great musician that I enjoy listening to, folks, who's also a great singer, is Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
All right, so Hypno, what's the next topic?
Jesus Christ. Steven fucking Seagal, seriously? Oh my god.
He actually does, but like
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know.
No, I heard him sing one time. I was like, yeah, he's okay.
Let's talk about the internet's former favorite person before Rachel Zegler took it over and Brie Larson. Stop showing Steven Seagal.
You know what, Ryan? Because of you, I will do a review on a Steven Seagal.
Who's the internet's new favorite person?
Please. There is the internet's old favorite person, Mindy Kaling. Let's talk about Mindy Kaling.
First of all, what did she do to her face? Why did she look like that?
She got old and did a bunch of surgery. Probably.
She's a lizard person.
Yeah, she lost a lot of weight. She took that new medication Hollywood has and lost like 60 pounds. Yeah, but apparently Warner Brothers just suspended their deal, not just with Mindy Kaling, but also J.J. Abrams and other creators that they had TV shows lined up for, guaranteed season 2s and everything. They completely canceled it. I don't know if it's because of the strike. I think it is, but they suspended the deal indefinitely. So as of right now, shows like Velma season 2 is off the table. Now I know a lot of people were really huge on trashing Velma season 2. Obviously, you guys know we did that a lot here.
Nah, what?
We did a lot here.
Like, I ain't about all that, make videos to outrage farm and shit. I'm
really
losing the video content. Like, now I'm not gonna get to make videos to shit on Velma. I would rather lose Velma and focus on good shit like One Piece. This is
I like taking those videos on Velma.
Like with Velma, I covered it because I like Scooby-Doo, and it pissed me off, so I had to talk about it.
I just wanted 1,000 views, folks, over
Velma
the course
was
of 10
so
videos.
Bad and disgusting and atrocious that Biden gave her a medal for it.
I
do you have the Velma getting hit by a car thing still?
The thing is, with Velma, though, the thing that made it bearable, because I could easily review Star Wars and get a ton of views from that, I'm sure, with Ahsoka. But it's an unbearable show for me. Like Disney Star Wars is unbearable. What made Velma bearable was that it was actually somewhat self-aware. Like they gave little hints here and there in each episode that made you realize as a viewer, like, oh, these people are really self-aware. They know that they're just trash. Like they know that they're pieces of shit,
Yeah.
and everything that they're talking about in the TV shows, they know like this is gonna piss off a lot of people. They know that, like they're completely self-aware. Whereas, with Disney Star Wars, they try to sell you this story about how it's going to be the greatest adventure ever, and that the Force is female, and that it's always been this way, and you just gotta love it. It's amazing, all this stuff, and they try to sell you this fake story that all the fans in the world love it. This is the new Star Wars. This is how it's going to be. It's unbearable. But with Velma, they knew like this was trash. They knew their whole thing was trash. They knew they were hating on men. They knew they were hating on white people, and they were very self-aware about it. So it made it very bearable for me to review the show. But I gotta say, I'm actually a little upset that season 2 is not gonna come out. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
I
am too.
wanted to see if they were gonna do like trans
Can we get out of the
freaking
picture?
Scooby or
'Cause I'm
something.
being physically ill.
Yeah, like her face is like doing something, right? But listen, I feel some type of way too because Velma was the thing that like was going on when I first came on Saturday Night Hypnosis, and I really got to bond with you guys through Velma, and so I do feel a little sentimental.
Kamala got a tan,
It is
folks.
a little sentimental.
I'm just joking. It's a joke.
I met everyone here because of She-Hulk, and I definitely don't want that to come back.
No.
I met
I'll
everyone.
happily-
That's
Thanks to Rings
supposed
of
to come
Power.
back, which is crazy. The fact that She-Hulk is getting a season 2 is I don't know.
They're lying.
insane.
If that
Oh,
doesn't prove that ideology
I'll
trumps
believe
anything,
it when I don't see it.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure all the studios are going to use force majeure to cancel projects they
Yep.
have lined up and not do them.
100%.
Yeah,
True.
I mean, look,
100%.
this thing is probably going to be put like on like all these projects that Warner Brothers has. Yeah, they're going to put them on hold. Oh God, bro, fuck, man, dude. Look, they're just gonna put all these projects on hold. They're not gonna say, "Oh, we're canceling every single one of them." They're just gonna say we're gonna put them on a temporary hold due to the whole WGA strike. And next thing you know, like a year or two later, or who knows how long, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, these projects that are on hold, they're back up and running. They'll come out in like 2025, late 2025." Early 2026.
That's what the Kennedy witch said about. Was it Ryan
Thank you for
Johnson's
using the
movies?
proper name.
She's like, well, they're not canceled. They're still in development.
I have an honest
under,
theory
like,
about all
dustbin.
this. Like the writer's strike, I think is planned. There's a planned strike.
Yes.
And I think the reason is they want to wait until after the election to see what type of films they have to make. They want to know, okay, are we having a big swing to the right, a big swing back to like more center, and all right, we can't have this in here. We have to rewrite everything, blah blah blah. We have to clear out the writers we have to bring in people that actually have talent. I don't know, but my point is it's very odd because even the games studios are getting into this now too.
They're being
with the
forced
strike, so
into
they're
it.
trying to bring that into it. So I'm just wondering if they're like all picking 2025, 2026, all after the election cycle, all after.
Unfortunately, and
sounds like a great reset to me.
Well, the only reason that I would counter that theory is that these writers, these actors, they know they could not last that fucking long on strike.
Yeah.
So just the timeline for it makes me think that
I don't know if it's that, man.
It only has to be
I
a year.
I genuinely think that it actually has to
like
do
the way it's
with
gone on
AI.
now. They're the like lower ones are fucking dying, but
like
even the studios don't have to do anything. The actors,
the studios don't give a shit.
The studios
I
are
think-
happy about this.
I think
Yeah,
that,
Yeah,
I
all
think
those
the
projects are
studios
bad. The only one that's annoyed is Dune and Warner Brothers. With
Yeah,
I think the studios are trying to get rid of people who they know are not gonna be okay with AI becoming prominent. I think they realize that they don't actually have to pay these people the money that they're paying them, even if it's not an exorbitant amount of money right now. I just think they finally realize like the technology is here. It's getting there very quickly. Whatever, little tidbits that need to be corrected, we could hire an AI manager, 1 or 2 or 3 of them, to take the place of 20 plus writers and get the job done, if not the same quality, but faster and more quantity, which we know that's what they care about. They care about the quantity more than quality because quality's been shit for years now. So I really think AI is definitely the focal point of this.
Yeah. But the problem, Hypno, is that what I think is happening right now is simply that this is what was going to be an obvious side effect of what happens when you overhire during a huge period surge in profits. So what do I mean by the huge surge period? Yeah, the huge surge period obviously
Ben and
was
Jerry.
yeah. Look,
I didn't know what she had in her mouth.
Actually, no.
Oh,
There's
Lord.
something really
What is
interesting that was said in the comments that I think needs to be touched on. Where'd it go?
What?
It was
Eh?
here. Simdal said it'll probably be World War III soon. Who needs movies? It's actually really
Meh.
important for people to note. Culture doesn't just stop during a World War. Like during World War
Yeah.
II, we
What
had
movies
the Mark
developed?
Zorro, we had
Mhm.
Fantasia, we had a bunch
Yeah.
of really famous movies that came out.
Tokyo Jokio.
Yeah, I
Great
mean, look,
Uh,
with
it can be
with-
argued during war is when
Mhm.
culture propaganda is at an all-time peak. So be
oh
prepared.
yeah, we can look. We can say that even for Disney, like for Christ's sakes, literally, there, it's on record that the only way Disney was able to survive the Great Depression and the economic, and then benefit off the great economic boom that ended up occurring was because they were making a lot of propaganda films for the U.S. military during
Same
and
with-
before and during the war.
I
So
love the
comic book industry,
anti-Japanese ones. I can't
Yeah.
wait for the anti-Chinese ones.
no, but the thing is, like, at least for what's happening right now with these writers guild strikes, the reason why they probably want to switch to AI and maybe only give a certain number of writers the job of looking at an AI script and obviously fine-tuning it so that when it goes on a set, a real human being and director can say, okay, yeah, this is good enough. The reason they're doing is because this is an effect of overhiring. So during the pandemic, you guys remember, streaming was at an all-time high. Profits were surging for all these studios. And as a result, I already know this, big corporations, when these kind of surges happen, by God, they want
90
to
seconds, Dragon.
yeah, they're going to overhire. Okay. And sometimes when you overhire people that are fucking incompetent, like
Nasty.
terribly incompetent, and even worse, some of them may have extreme ideologies attached to them. And obviously, these studios were leaning more towards a certain side because they believed that due to the whole climate that was happening at the time, and for the next couple of years until now, that it was going to make them more profit. However, when
60
you got to
seconds.
understand, they had made contracts that would last for years on the specified pipeline. When they saw this wasn't working out, of course, they are going to regret that decision and see AI as their way out to going back to what you could call their center, where they can still make profits, but they're also not going to be at a constant face of controversy. So,
what was the highest viewed show of 2022? Wasn't like Yellowstone one of them? And that's like the least woke thing I can think of.
Yellowstone? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I get like 11 million, like I think 11 million viewers.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very curious, like if
Yellowstone was the second highest next to the NFL.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah.
Yellowstone
You
in
guys are
terms of
trying to
drama.
tell me that it wasn't the Book of Boba Fett.
My point
It
is-
wasn't Rings of Power?
Oh
My-
yeah,
All right,
what
okay,
about
bring
that
it,
smash
bring it.
hit Rings of Power that they lied that the viewership numbers were at an all-time high until it wasn't.
Rogue,
I'm
ahead,
just saying-
man. That's after.
I'm
No,
just
let
saying,
Rogue
you look
speak.
at a show that has diversity in it with the I can't remember the wife's name, but it's been
Which
a while
one?
since I watched the Yellowstone. I was watching the spin-off 1883 recently, so now I have all the names mixed up in my head. The youngest son had the Native American wife. Right, they had built-in diversity, but built-in story-wise that made sense in all three seasons.
Yep.
All three
yeah,
the spin-offs had
people
it too,
mixed.
with a logical reason. It wasn't there for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
no one complains about anything, and it's beautifully done, and it's good entertainment. So
because
if you
it makes
see that
sense
as a
for what they're
company,
trying to do.
if you see that as a company, and it's sad that Paramount is like the company, kind of like you have Yellowstone on one side, then you have Star Trek, like Lower Decks, and
Christ.
like other stuff, except for Picard season 3. Picard season 3 was beautifully done. I'll give them that. So what's going on? You can see profits. You can see profits somewhere. What you're capitalists start making money.
Mhm. Yeah, well, the problem is, Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it's all connected, though. Y'all know, I always say that. They know what to do to make money again. If they want to make money, they know what to do, right? But
Absolutely.
That's not yeah, like that's not what it's about. Like not everything is practical and pragmatic. There is another entity to a lot of what they do. This AI thing is not just popular. This probably was planned way before the pandemic. Like, how easy is it to you know, these communists, I mean, like, let's keep it real, okay? Like I want to go to do this one time because this is not my stream, but
all right, let's go. And then I got to do super chat.
Always says that, and then you know.
But like, there's just no other words for me to speak, and I don't use the word woke as much, and you know, because I have to call out the enemy for what they are, and not even the product, right? Because like I've said this on one of Film Rebels lives. My favorite show is probably the most wokest show for that show on Netflix. I mean, they hit all the check boxes when it comes to quote woke, but the acting and the writing is so damn good.
What show?
They got me.
What was it called?
It's
Well,
called.
hold on. No, if the writing is good, then it's not woke. Because
They just throw it in. Ho.
Oh,
They throw it in. They throw it in. You know what I mean? But the point of the plot of the show, it really is that good. So you suffer through that,
right,
you know
right.
I mean?
What I'm
But
saying
the
is,
point-
for something to be woke, the ideology has to take priority over the characters and story in a way that bastardizes said
trust
characters
me,
and story.
believe me, this actor, like the way he like, I'm not gonna go back and forth about that, but the way Penn Badgley plays the actor himself, like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff happening around him. Like, you could tell, like, his love interest is a black girl, and they say, I'm a feminist, and they say dumb stuff like that, right? So they throw in the dumb stuff. But the actual plot of the show, I'm sorry, it's really good, and he's a really good actor. I don't want to hear anything about his politics. I heard just a teeny bit one time, and I was like, oh, turn it off. I just want to see, you acting. But the point that I'm making is these communists know, come on, they put the seeds in a long time ago. How long were people going to really go along with, okay, you're a white man, you got to be the villain all the time, right? How long? So why don't we not use humans who have emotions and get mad about stuff, and we just use the AI? It doesn't talk back, right? This isn't me saying this, by the way, but this is the way the world is going. And I see it even in nursing, not just AI. It's like, oh, we have this new robotic bedside type robot thing. Now, of course, all the hospitals don't have it yet, okay? And it'll probably be a while before they have it. I hope I'm long gone from that field by the time they do. But the fact that something that I said could never be done, like, they can't replace human nurses because, we do, and they're trying to do it. So
Japan's done it for a while now, I think.
Yeah, you see, so that's the thing. We do have to fight back against this. I just don't want to do a medical thing anymore. But we do have to fight back against it. I feel bad for Fran Drescher when I see her yelling and saying these things. I like Fran as an actress, but she should have started. I'm going to keep it real. She should have started yelling a long time ago when they started telling her, we're going to go green with how we make the movies. We got to bring in the DEI. She should have been like, no, don't mess up the art. Leave it
probably
alone.
not accepting
Leave
the
my Roomba
pandemic.
alone. I don't want to have to vacuum myself. Just leave my
Fran's full
Roomba
of
alone.
shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Look, I want to say something, but I'll wait until super chats.
Oh, well.
He probably is, though.
Yeah, let me touch on the super chats really quick, guys, and then we'll continue in. So it says subtle deviancy for 2. Wyatt, who's better, Dio, Dickinson, Kisuke, or Anselmo?
Dio's better. I like Dickinson a lot, but you can't beat Dio in terms of like vocal quality and influence. Even though he lied about starting the Devil Horns. He lied.
What? No. Dio didn't lie about that. Fucking
yes, he did.
Simmons lied about that.
No,
Dio gives all credit to his grandmother for the Devil Horns.
it wasn't the story. He got it from Geezer Butler. But
No fucking shit, really?
There's
Dio,
pictures.
you misled me.
Wait,
son of a bitch.
you need to watch my latest video I just put on the Wyatt's Metal channel.
I've got it in my recommendations.
I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
That's a nice
that being
plug.
said,
I like
and
that.
Selmo is easily second place.
There you go.
Second plug.
Subtle deviancy for 2 again says Leon is a poor man's Andrew WK.
Okay, subtle deviancy. You're the first person to know that's who I model myself. I'm not even joking. I wear white on white like 4 or 5 days a week, and with like Sonic characters on them, and claim I'm a furry. Andrew WK is a fucking joke. I love AWK. So
I love Andrew.
he is a massive inspiration to me. I love AWK.
Nice. Kyoko Fulgarian for 5 says, did you guys see the news about Elon Musk completely defying our government's orders for him to allow him to use Starlink to expose Russian ships? Yikes.
Not surprised, but it makes sense he would say that. He doesn't really care about that kind of stuff unless it interferes directly with his financing.
Well,
right.
what he said on X now is that the Ukrainians basically wanted him to turn it on so they could like escalate the war further, and he was like, no.
Yeah, because Elon as a person is just obsessed with advancing humanity and giving it a fighting chance. Now, of course, there could be some shit in there, but that's obsession.
I'm just gonna say I saw a tweet underneath one of the comments about the Starlink thing and all this, and it does bring up a very valid point. He has like $180 billion in wealth at least.
Right. Yeah, but it's like usable wealth. This is like
I'm just saying, there's only 8 billion people on the planet. He could literally take the entire globe out of poverty in a day.
Yeah,
and still be one of the richest people on the planet.
The problem is
maybe they can take me.
Well, the assets that the thing is, like
a
people,
lot of that assets, not cash on hand.
Yeah,
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like it was a very
money doesn't get people out of poverty. Unfortunately, it's a mindset that keeps people poor. That's why America went.
Yeah, but middle America could use money. Middle class money will help because they understand.
Yeah.
Trillions have been put into Africa. It hasn't helped the continent. It's only gotten worse. That's my take.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well, they got sent to the governments, right? They got sent to the governments.
Yeah, it's Africa is
People
a
are more
boiling pot of
savage there
messes.
than the government's rogue. I have to tell you, it is Africa. Thank you, Subtle Deviancy, for your $2. Ryan plays Dungeons and Grandmaster Dragons. So that's a good.
Wait, so we played this game together then? Dang.
Yeah, sure.
Guess so.
about
Arthur
it.
Brown, aka Dragon Slayer 2 for 5, says Ryan's a fake Klansman. Eminem isn't his favorite rapper.
No, it's Pitbull because he's Latino, but he is white.
Latinx.
Latino and white.
Every time somebody says Latinx or Latinx, my automatic response is "fuck you," and then whatever comes after.
Yeah, I think
that will never
myself
change.
off a cliff when I hear those words. Not gonna lie. And last but not least, we got Panther 111 for 2 says miracles do happen. Velma season 2 canceled.
Fingers
it's not
crossed,
quite canceled yet, but right now it looks like it's probably going to be, unless either someone else buys it in the time period, which I don't see how that's possible, or the strike ends, and then they reinstate it. So, but as of right now, it's not going to be for a while.
Pray to God that does not happen. Okay, we already have to put up with Rings of Power season 2 next year.
Yeah.
That's an inevitability of a disaster. And yes, Coach,
rubbing
you
your
are going
hands.
to make videos about it too.
You could be lucky and have nuclear war.
I know it's gonna be
fingers crossed.
If you want to see like
hands,
angry nerds, if you want to see angry nerds, you should watch Saturday Night Hypnosis when we review, Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's the apex. Angry nerds.
No, that is angry nerd. Like I have never seen so many fellow angry dudes over. And the thing is, by the way, this actually gives to one point I wanted to make that Leon mentioned earlier: the definition of woke. My definition of if a show is woke is, at least for me, or the stereotypical definition of woke is if, number one, the show is garbage in general. It was made by very inept people. The way the show is shot, the dialogue, the insane crap that doesn't make sense in terms of continuity terms, its quality, if it's really bad, and then on top of that, they try to insert woke ideology as a shield to protect them from their incompetence, and then use it also as a way to deflect and attack those that genuinely want to criticize it. To me, that is sort of that definition for a woke show.
You can't have a definition that uses the word in the definition. That's called cyclical definition. So you can't say the definition of woke is when they use woke ideology. You need to actually define
political correctness, social justice, and identity politics. How about that word?
I love it.
Well, if they use, if they, oh goodness, okay, fine. The definition for me is mostly like if they use, if they try to express, like if the show itself is very bad in terms of what I just mentioned earlier, and on top of that, they try to use certain ideologies as a way to defend themselves from, or as a way to excuse their incompetence, so people do not judge them directly. That's what I think is when a show just becomes really woke. Now, of course, by these ideologies, obviously the one that's used the most is far left-leaning ideologies. However, if it was, for example, far-right ideologies instead, I still would have said the exact same thing I said about Rings of Power, that it is a shit show, because it genuinely is a very bad
It
show.
honestly probably would have been a lot more entertaining if it was far right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Yeah.
yeah, probably. I mean,
Rings
look,
of Power
you
far
have-
right sounds hilarious.
Discipline.
You can have
Or-
other
you
content
may be
that
right.
is
It would have
well
been
made,
far-
though.
it
It's
would have
about
been
the messaging, not necessarily the quality of the show.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
Exactly.
They were
I
trying to
agree
stay
with you, Rogue
closer to
Attraction.
the-
Things
Yeah.
can be
It's the
woke and
obsession
still
with
be
messaging.
technically well done.
I
Yeah,
think they would have been far more entertaining if Rings of Power was self-aware like Velma, but they weren't self-aware. They really took themselves extremely serious, and they thought they were writing the greatest
They
thing
really
ever.
were that.
They
fucking
really thought
stupid.
they were
Yeah.
writing something better than Tolkien could ever
Uh-huh.
write. They thought they were writing the book that he never wrote. I mean, this is stuff they literally
Uh-huh.
said, and that's what made it unbearable. That's what made it really. That's why people trashed it so hard.
and on top of
Yeah,
that,
didn't have a
like
good
the
time with it.
shitheads. Like
People-
they were so full
people-
of themselves.
no, and people even said, Shadow of War, which is a fan fiction, the developers claimed it was a fan fiction, was more respectful to the lore and the world of Middle Earth than a show that's supposed to portray the lore of Middle Earth properly, which it did not. So that speaks volumes that you should know that if somebody's trashing you and saying that a fan fiction is better than your multi-billion-dollar project, you fucked up. Because that show, if you to take in the words the Lord of the Rings and just left Rings of Power and you showed it to some random person who's never read Tolkien, you know what's going to happen? They're going to think they're watching some weird Dungeons and Dragons spin-off.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
And I'm
real
right.
quick, because obviously Dragon Slayer had a different opinion of woke than me, and then we see General Vega in the comment here. He also has a different definition. That's what I was trying to say earlier when I say woke lost all meaning, because the chat was saying we all know what woke is. Apparently not. We just got 3 different definitions in the span of about 60 seconds. There does need to be consistency when using that word. Just throwing
How
that out.
can you be consistent against an ideology that lost the Cold War in the battle of ideas? If you lose the battle, you change the rules. So you don't be.
Yeah, they're
people
not
who aren't
consistent. Their lack of consistency doesn't mean that we can't be
Yeah.
consistent. What kind of
They
back
undermine truth. They undermine reality words. They fight
That
truth
doesn't-
with lies,
that-
and they
first of
twist
all,
the
they
truth
don't-
for their lies.
No, I
that
get the
doesn't
point,
alter
Leon.
whether or not we use a word correctly. They could try and say the sky is green all they want. That doesn't fucking alter reality. The sky's blue.
So basically,
To be fair, they are
I'll
saying
just-
that the sky is green
Yes,
with their ideology.
just
and if
gonna
you don't
say-
believe
that
the
doesn't
sky is
alter the
green, then
reality.
cancel
So
to
it.
make
Are you
your
saying you hate
definition
people who are
without woke.
colorblind?
Go ahead, Rogue.
make-
Go ahead. Rogue.
Good to make the definition without using woke, right? That's what we're basically trying to do, and everyone's having a different viewpoint of it. I think the simple aspect is anything that goes against generalized normal society tends to be what that would be. So an action to distort what is considered or normal or traditional value that takes place in society that keeps society going in the right direction. That's something that equals woke.
But then we're
That's my
getting into
viewpoint.
no, you're right. But then we're getting into the can of worms, like whose perspective is right.
Well,
And
the
then-
simple
and then- and
aspect
then, you
is
know-
you can look through history and what happens
Yeah.
when there is a
But
What happens
history,
whenever-
as they say, was written by the victors, by the
Yes.
ones who won. So at the
Yes.
same time,
you
a-
guys
a-
are
many-
really
Yeah, but
I mean,
look at-
I agree with Rogue, but hold on, you guys are overcomplicating it. Take the word
Yeah.
door. The word door has an agreed upon definition. The word
Mhm.
deer has an agreed upon definition. The word hat has an agreed upon definition. We need to do the same for something like woke. If it does not
Mhm.
have an agreed upon definition and you try to get into the minutia of, well, that means X, then that
Yeah.
means Y, which leads to Z, all of a sudden it has no relevance, it has no meaning. So there needs to be an agreed
simplest
upon
way to break it
definition.
down is anything that can affect negatively a young person's mind. I consider
Well, no,
that
because
to be-
porn can negatively impact a young person's mind.
yeah, but
Porn
they're
is
not supposed to
it's not
watch it.
woke.
There's no
What?
kid
What?
content made with
Right,
nudity in it,
but
and if there
but
isn't,
does it make sense
it's
to say porn is woke? Like that
no.
doesn't.
But,
yeah.
but my
the general
point is,
context.
it's not meant for kids. Then there's younger content that does have nudity in it that shouldn't have nudity in it. Get my point? Like the kids' books that are in schools right now that are trying to
right.
So that's not considered porn. right?
No, I agree with you there. I'm just saying that if you say anything that can affect a young child's mind, that's too broad. Because I mean, there's a lot of things that can infect a child's mind.
So
like,
anything that can affect a child's mind that changes the course of their natural development.
There we go. That I can absolutely. Yeah, that's
okay.
fair.
That's fair. That's actually very good. And funny thing is that the original, at least, definition of woke, or like we're talking like back in the foundings of the New Age movement, if you will, the original definition just simply meant somebody who has, you could say, awoken from a state of ignorance and has now realized that the world they've been living in, it's not exactly all, how do I say, all full of roses. There is a lot of thorns in them, and some of those are affecting society in such a negative way that the best way to combat this new threat that you've now realized actually has existed your entire life is to fight against it in a productive way that will allow other people to see the same truth that you're noticing. However, unfortunately, as the years have been going along, that definition has changed.
You gave the definition, and you gave the definition correctly. Don't overextend yourself. That's
no, I'm
why,
not. I know the definition. I'm just saying, like, over the years, it has
trying
changed.
to politely say, "Stop talking."
God damn it! Why?
Once you gave the original definition, stop. You let it sink in because you're correct. That is what woke used to mean. Gay used to mean happy. The word has changed over the years. Woke also used to mean exactly what you said. Now it has changed, so people need to understand what the change means. For example, if a movie has a gay dude in it, movie is not woke. If a movie has a gay dude in it, and then the movie preaches that being gay is the way to live your life, that is woke. There has to be levels and steps to get to the point that is woke.
Yeah, you're reading Mad Hatter's comment. I was going to say the same thing after reading that.
Wait, what did he say? Sorry,
what did Mad Hatter say?
Mad Hatter say you can't. We must define our terms. Woke cannot mean a gay dude in the story.
Yeah,
no,
exactly,
but if it is to preach that lifestyle is better, or try to implicate something like that, it cannot be like their only impetus behind the story is that it's a gay dude to be a gay dude in the story, and there's no character around him. Then I would consider that woke because it's not a character. Then it's it's propaganda.
I agree.
Yeah,
if we keep using woke all willy nilly like we're using it now, then movies like Alien would be considered woke by modern standards. Movies like Terminator 2 would
by
be
the standards of the 80s,
modern...
actually.
But, not by the standards of the 80s. That was normal then. There were a million movies like that. It's normal. That's why
I'm talking like in the 80s, like specifically in the 80s, words. Like you got to understand, this is like a time period where people were a little bit more
talking like he was there.
more strict in their morals and what they would allow their young kids to see. And movies like Aliens, where they show like the brutal killing of people by this horrifying monster.
That wasn't woke,
that was not woke.
No.
First of all, again,
I'm not saying it's woke. I'm saying like based off the. I'm not using the term woke for describing action movies in the 80s that showed nudity or extreme violence. I'm not using that term. I'm talking like about cultural perceptions at the time. Okay.
Now, it wasn't out of the ordinary at the time either. Those movies, T2 did not become one of the most famous movies of all time by being out of the ordinary in a 90s, social way. Yeah, T2 was 92. Yeah,
I'm just saying, if you look at like Conan or any of that stuff that happened in Arnold's early films in the 80s, like that was the time of like opulence and obsession and cocaine. Like, let's be honest, like no one was caring about anything. There was shoulder pads and there was like a lot of sex.
It was that time of a cultural
and I
revolution.
Watched Conan as a 5-year-old. Like my parents weren't afraid that. I mean, I didn't know what I was. I didn't think it was. I watched a lot of things because it still had. I don't know. They didn't. I wasn't being preached through the television. You know.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any messaging in Conan.
Huh?
There wasn't any messaging in those films.
That's my
it was just entertainment.
The message was crush your enemies, see them driven before you.
I did a model, folks. A model of an eye. I don't know if you can see it.
Is that a flashlight?
I don't think that's an eye.
You put it on your face and it's an eye. There you go. I can see through it.
You're 1/8 of being the Phantom of the Opera.
Someone has too much time thinking about the Navis in Avatar.
But
Leon destroyed me so much, I just went to modeling.
All right, I want to talk about One Piece
Pause
because we
that,
are
damn it.
almost
Leon,
2.5 hours
off
in.
lube.
So let's talk about One Piece while we still have some time, because this particular show also brings up the whole woke versus non-woke conversation, because people, it does, yeah, because people, they misconstrue a lot of what I said in my last video. But I will say, let's start it off. First off, One Piece is fucking killing it in terms of viewership. We have to admit that. But one thing I will say,
fucking good.
100%. But one thing I will say though is that this show proves that the only time a streaming company is ever actually going to release the viewership numbers themselves is when a show is actually doing good.
Right.
And we say this all the time because it happens few and far between. The last time we saw a prime example of this was The Last of Us, where they actually released each episode's viewership up until I think after the second gay episode, and they stopped. I wonder why. But this particular show is 140 million hours viewed. Okay, it's one of the top shows in a while, and not only that, 140 million hours viewed is substantially higher than I think anything Disney has even come close to coming out with, which is
without
insane.
a doubt.
I think as soon as the creator was involved, it really helped.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. So this brings up the woke versus non-woke argument, right? So One Piece as a whole is perceived to be a generally progressive manga, right? Generally progressive. I use that term in
By
the
Japanese
sense of like,
terms, but still, yes.
yeah,
body
it's
modification and stuff like that.
yeah, generally progressive, because here the problem is that a lot of people on the Western side, they look at this through a different lens. You know what I mean? So they look at it through the Western lens and they see, oh, you have a character that looks a certain way. That character must be non-binary, even though that's never mentioned ever. You know what I'm saying? But it brings up the conversation of, okay, the creator was involved, right? The creator was heavily involved. Pretty much denied them anything almost they wanted to do. But he is the actual one that race swapped one of his own characters, apparently. I found out. It was his decision to include a particular actor that was actually black
she
over
did a
white.
good job.
Right, which is fine. She did a good job.
Character properly.
My thing about this, though, is that with One Piece, people are saying, well, you know, I noticed that a lot of people aren't calling it woke when it is. My thing about this is that, again, we're looking at Japanese created content through the eyes of the West, number one. And number two, the biggest thing for me, and you guys could chime in, is that they did not promote this TV show in the normal manner that they normally would. Now, you could say that's probably because of the strikes. You know, you could say that's the case. But I see articles from people who aren't actually in the entertainment space, in terms of like the ones who make this stuff, so they can't speak. Like the people are writing articles about the trans person, calling them the breakout star. You know what I mean? So they simply focused on the trans person, all because they're trans. For me, that is highly woke, in my opinion, right? Not from the show standpoint.
People are making this woke of their own accord. Netflix didn't do it. Now, whether it's because of the strikes or not, doesn't matter. Fact of the matter is, Netflix didn't advertise it that way. The actors didn't advertise it that way. And the show itself stayed true to the source material. The show is not woke. People can go on X and say whatever the fuck they want. But you know what? The trans actor that's playing, I don't give a fuck. They didn't make the character trans. I don't care. The trans actor, dude, did a good job. He played the character properly, and the character himself is still a regular dude. And in fact, the character from the manga and anime, like I said in my video, is a bit of a soy beta male bitch. So they got a trans female to male to play a soy beta male bitch, and it worked out. The actor killed it. Netflix didn't get on a pulpit and talk about how amazingly progressive they are. The show is fine.
Thing,
now,
dude.
the articles talking about how amazing this trans actor is needs to fucking stop. No one cares.
That's my thing. If this article had never came out about the actor being trans, probably most people wouldn't have even cared or even have looked at it.
I didn't know. Until that article, I didn't know this actor was trans.
Right. And the thing too, the thing is that these particular people, this is exactly how most of these studios would advertise their show before it comes out. They would look at what was it? Ahsoka? Was it Ahsoka? I think it was Ahsoka. When they had an all-female panel talking about the show, and they didn't say anything about the fucking show the entire time. All they spoke about was we're women. This is a very diverse show. Like we're empowered, we're leaders, we're this, we're that. It's like
diversity and empowerment.
So
that's why they don't act like their characters.
Sounded exactly
my
like
question
that.
really quick is that Do you guys think Netflix would have advertised this show that way had they had the ability to speak if it wasn't for the strike?
Yes.
I don't think the creator would have given them that ability. I think the creator
Yeah,
had a lot
exactly.
of control
I don't
over
think
this.
so.
Well,
Right.
the creator wasn't involved, and
I thought the creator was for.
No, the creator was heavily
the creator
involved.
is involved, but I'm saying in this, if the creator had not been involved, they most certainly would
Yeah,
have done it.
if
But
Netflix had
because-
the.
no, like basically the creator was directly
I don't know.
involved.
Netflix doesn't really.
What
do
the
that
hell
much
was
work.
that?
I'm sorry, y'all.
Besides,
And to be fair,
besides, like cuties, what big like leftist Netflix? Like I'm trying to figure out. Like they don't really advertise that way.
So
They
I'm
don't-
gonna put it to you like this. I have something on my Twitter, and I'm gonna show you exactly what the real Netflix is that has full creative fucking control. I just gotta find the video.
Witcher.
You got no, it's
Fuck
not the
no,
Witcher.
no, I hate
It's
that
this-
shit.
No, he's not gonna
but
pull
you
up the
know
Witcher
ex-
because then
you
the,
know
the
exactly
Dragon
what I'm
Slayer will
pulling up.
go on for hours.
So this is
Fuck
this is
you.
also Netflix. Okay, I want to be very clear. This is also
Video.
Netflix, right? This is also Netflix. All right.
Oh,
Watch
God.
this. Watch this.
Dude, fuck.
Watch
No,
this. It's gonna be
man.
good.
I'll
It's
watch
gonna be
it.
good.
Okay, I'll watch
Watch
it.
it. Watch it.
Okay.
Watch it.
Took a while, but we finally found a file for a Bailey Del Vecchio. Is 32 Burnt Hill
Fuck
Road still the
everyone
kind of
involved
dress?
with this show.
Yeah. Have you been giving him fluids? If he's dehydrated, we'll need to place an IV. Have him change into this. I don't want the blue one. Well,
I hear someone's not feeling well. Let's take a look at the little.
I don't know.
What is
I don't know if
this?
this is copyright.
What
but I'm
is
gonna
this?
play
This is
it.
a real show. This is real.
Yeah,
I
no,
hear
this is
someone's not
100%
feeling well.
real.
I want to see what happens. So wait.
I paused it because it's copyright, but I'm gonna play it again. I'm playing it right now. This is 100% real, and this is
can I please
100%
talk
from
to you two
Netflix.
outside?
Sure, a little
No.
girl with no
No.
medical expertise.
No, she's not going to.
I know that you guys are busy, but as you would see, if you looked at her and not her
music.
chart,
Ooh, her.
Bailey is not a boy.
my god.
And
Fuck
by
Yeah,
treating
Bailey's
her
a
like
fucking boy.
All right, gotta pause it for copyright real quick.
This is
No.
This
burning
is
my blood
woke.
right now.
Anyone trying to talk about what woke is, this is the epitome of
This is
woke.
it.
This
This
is
is
the
pushing an
epitome of
ideology.
modern woke.
When I think of
Everyone
woke, I think
involved-
of shit like this. To be
Yeah,
honest, with
Everyone
you.
involved
I'm
with
gonna
this show should
Yeah.
be arrested.
I'm gonna finish it
Mhm.
here.
And you are completely ignoring who she is. You're making her feel insignificant and humiliated.
Shut
You're
up.
not gonna
The
help her
fuck
feel
you
good
talking
or
about?
Safe or calm. So
Sorry we
from
hurt
here
her
on out,
feelings, but she's
please
about to
recognize
fucking
her for who
die.
She is.
So we're gonna look at her.
That would've been me.
We're gonna look at
Did you
his
bring me a
medical
non-blue
charts. You
hospital
dumb
gown?
shit.
Now,
I wish
I'm
I
sorry.
was a nurse.
Gown?
I'm
Father
sorry.
God.
I would be committing that girl at that point in
Yeah.
time.
That's what
If I was a
I'm out,
doctor,
I'm out,
That's
I'm
what
out.
I put on Twitter. On Twitter,
Or
I
a
put, she was
gown.
immediately put into a
I-
straitjacket and sent
What
to
is
an
this
asylum.
show?
I find it interesting. Okay, really quick. I find it interesting that the people who say, "Oh, colors shouldn't decide gender or anything," right? Like, oh, boys can like pink too, girls can like blue.
Right.
You mean to tell me this trans boy who is
Couldn't wear
faking
blue.
being a girl now doesn't want to wear blue because it's considered to be a boy? What happened to not being gendered? You know what I'm saying? Like the consistency
Yeah.
is never there.
They,
But
they never,
again-
yeah, they never hold consistency in all
You-
their arguments they're presenting. Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
madness.
I
You know,
showed
communist
this
parties
to see what
don't
woke
have,
really
you
is.
know what I mean?
One at a
Practical
time,
consistency.
please.
Yeah.
What is this show?
I- So it's on Netflix. I don't know exactly where it's from. I just know Netflix posted it. Here, I'll show you guys also.
There's another clip you
so
should
is it
play
created by
where-
Netflix
yeah.
or is it something they bought to show?
I-
Like, are they?
I have no fucking clue. All
I'm
I
not
know is
sure.
Netflix, the official page, posted it,
And they were posting it a lot.
and they were posting it like a lot.
What
Yeah.
is going on?
So
like
There's
imagine-
another clip they posted you should play where she's talking to some girl who's explaining trans, and the girl's explanation of it is, so you know you're right-handed, right? So wouldn't it be weird if people just told you to use your left hand? Well, that's how it is for trans. I'm like, no, it's fucking not.
No, it's not.
That's not
Like-
even
like,
fucking close.
Not even like not right. Like,
Damn.
you know, like
Didn't like
First of
House
all-
have an episode like that? And like basically the lady, like the person looked like a girl the entire time. It's like, oh no, the reason why. Oh god, I didn't read that.
He called the cuties to the hospital.
it's pretty
like,
accurate.
wait a
Yeah.
minute. Wait, let me
And,
just say,
No joke.
the-
I still don't have Netflix. I watched One Piece in the High Seas, so
nice.
But do you
No,
guys
that's
see
incredibly appropriate.
the stark difference between the two, right? So like when people, that's my point. Like when people say, "Oh, everything is woke. Nah, it's not, because that is actually
That's woke.
legitimately woke
Yes.
as fuck. Whereas other stuff could have woke tendencies, and I know there are people, don't get me wrong, I know there are people out there that are like, well, any little thing is too much. I get that. Trust me, I really do. But there has to be levels to this, and that was like Mach fucking 10, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
that brings up a good question. Is there a difference between like a woke show and straight propaganda? Because that's straight propaganda.
This is propaganda.
That's,
Yeah.
that's not even pretending to have an
a
artistic
type of
thing.
propaganda.
Yeah,
Woke is propaganda.
definitely. Yeah,
It's
true.
an ideology.
Yeah.
Any propaganda is an ideology.
I mean, I can tell you
Yeah.
the show You is like there's one scene where on the season 3, and yet I like the show. On season 3, a white lady goes missing, right? Okay. And the only reason why I'm saying it like that is because they call it missing white lady syndrome, and the black girl's like, well,
I remember that.
White women are missing, they get way more attention than people of other color who are missing, and it's this miserable black girl who is explaining this. Of course, she's light skinned, and that's a whole nother thing, because I feel like light skinned people overcompensate because they don't think that they're black. It's so disgusting. It's so annoying. But again, yeah, that's a real thing. That is anyway. Overcompensate the wrong way. But either way, they do. So then I have to like, okay, let me suffer through this. And
You're
then,
talking about when Gabby Petito went missing.
Yeah,
The YouTuber. Yeah, I remember that.
No,
I did videos on
yeah,
that.
that was Remember
That was
when
it.
that
That's
happened?
when
Yeah.
she mentioned
So
it.
it influenced. Oh my god, the 3rd season was so extra with the influence, because they talked about jabbing and all this shit, and I'm like, bro, man, can we get through these parts so I can get back to what's really going on in the show? But the show does do like it checks off the boxes, and I'm not really hype about checking off boxes, but if you can bring me a good plot, whatever. But that show, whatever we were just watching, like that's crazy. Like I wish, and this is why I gotta get. That will happen. What they just did there, by the way, with the little girl saying, or the little boy, whatever, I don't want that one because it's blue, and some family member coming out and trying to sun the doctor and the nurse. This is not far from happening if it isn't happening already. Families already are too intrusive in treatment. They'll say like, my mother needs to be on an antibiotic. And I've seen doctors go off and find the antibiotic. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm not ready for this, because if somebody comes to me like, you need to find her a pink, I'm going to be like, I'm going to need you to stop right now. I have to save your life. I need to triage appropriately. I do not have time to look for pink blankets and everything else.
And that was Casey's last day of work.
First.
And now she's fired.
I have to get out of here. I can't. I'm not going to last.
But for me, really quick,
Casey.
for me personally, really fast. My definition of woke, I don't know, everybody got a fucking definition. Mine is that, and I think someone else said it earlier, is that when the ideology takes precedence over the story of the movie, I feel like that for me, and that could go either way, really, but it usually is the left side that does this.
Yeah.
For me, that is when it's woke, because again, there's a stark difference, right? One Piece, where one character is race swapped, is it annoying? Absolutely. Did the original mangaka want to do it? Absolutely. So he's still alive. He can make the decision. It's his choice how he wants to do his show. I may not agree with it, but it is what it is, right? J.R.R. Tolkien's dead. He can't speak for himself, so that's totally different. But in this scenario, this movie that we just saw a little clip of, that is fucking woke. That is ideology taking precedence over literally everything, not just story, but common sense too. Everything.
Would you consider all faith-based movies woke then?
Because you have people.
That's my issue. Yeah, that's where like I understand the point of. Sorry,
bro.
That's why I think it's linked with
would you
things
consider
like
all faith-based movies woke then?
That's why I think woke ideology
honestly,
is
yeah,
linked
I
with
would. But
political
is it faith-based
correctness.
or taking precedence over the actual story?
Well, technically, like Sound of Freedom is a faith-based film, and so
No,
is like The
but
Passion. Would you consider them
Sound of
woke?
Freedom
There
doesn't
is a
have
difference between a
Sound of
narrative.
Freedom is not faith-based. Sound of Freedom was
it
made
doesn't
by a
have an
faith-based
overpowering
studio.
like message.
Well, no, released. It was made by Fox.
Or sorry,
Fox
released.
Studio-
Sorry, released by a faith-based studio. The point, the actual
But there
narrative
really
is
isn't
not
any
a
much, like, faith
faith-based
in the
narrative
film.
in a way that contradicts or
But my
override.
point is,
story.
wouldn't you consider normally woke would be having a negative impact? Like, would you consider a faith-based film having a negative impact then? So you're saying that as like Passion of the Christ or something like that would be woke, but I don't know if necessarily the impact of the film is negative.
I
don't think it was woke because the entire story is based
Passion of the
in
Christ.
the
Passion of the Christ does not push an ideology that is contradictory to the overarching narrative.
That's why I'm saying what Hypnotic said about it being either side. I don't know if it's necessarily either side.
Yeah,
I consider that
right wing woke can be a thing. It's just so
Yeah, there's
rare.
no
It's
such
hard
thing.
to give a good
Let
example.
me
I
help
think
you
it
out.
should have, for me, for my definition of woke, since everyone's gone around, is basically exactly what Hypnotic
Oh
said,
my
but
God.
specifically for far left, SJW ideology. I understand the point trying to make, where like if a faith-based film is shoving their message, it's a similar type of thing. But I think that deserves a different definition than woke. Even if
Well,
it's
I made a
operating the same way,
video.
but for different things.
I made a video on it, but I really do think that it's like a component. Add things together and you get it. That's why I think political correctness, social justice, identity politics, they're all key components of what I call woke ideology. But I gave my thoughts on that in a video, nailing down a nebulous term, I think is what I
think
what
that
I
we
called it.
are. I'm sorry. Let me just give my point about
No,
it.
go
Because
on,
I am
go
about
on.
to actually dip off because I
Sure.
got to be up at 4:00 in the morning. It's
Okay.
ridiculous. But anyway, I think that we're making it a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. So woke, yes, the term, what it used to mean, which I used to use it all the time. Woke was, I'm not being fooled by the government, even though at the time when I was using it, I was being fooled by the government. I just thought, I knew like two things and thought I knew everything. But that's what it used to mean. And then it was infiltrated by, Marxist.
Yeah.
So what is woke? Woke is an idea. Now what is woke? Woke is an idea that you are underneath some system that is on your back. And then you have to fight that system, right? Woke means that you are oppressed, fighting the oppressor, period. So when you have these trans people or whatever, I'm going to use their term for a second because I call them substitution body expression people, but so when you
That's a new one.
I've
Never heard that one.
any reality to this anymore. I'm not. So when you have these people telling you that we have to, and don't forget, they always add white to it. We have to fight the white heterosexual patriarchal way. That's because they're oppressed. So they're woke. I'm woke because I'm oppressed, fighting this. I'm a feminist. I'm woke because I'm oppressed. I'm black. I'm woke because I'm oppressed. That's what it is. It's Marxism that has infiltrated what woke really meant. Like you said, I'm awakened to, it used to mean that. I'm awakened to the BS around me, right? And I used to use it all the time. And then I found out that through organizations, it was taken over. And what I can't stand about big conservative pundits, I'll leave with this, because I try to be the best conservative I can be. I'm a worshiper of God, but I call out the BS. I mean, I stick with the truth wherever it lands. And Charlie Kirk used to really get on my nerves with we're going to get the woke mob, mob. No, you take the word back. That's what you do. Take it back. Like, we should all be using it. Like, for real. Yeah, I'm awakened. I'm woke to the fact that y'all tried to shut down the economy and everything else in 2020. And the WEF. Okay. Anyway, this is not my stream, so I don't want to use it. Shut down.
And
We should have took the word back and used the real word. These Marxists are out here with their Marxist communist ideology, and we need to stop it now. That's how you do it. And no, not everything. Of course, there's people who are going to be a little hip who, hey, yes, there are gay people who don't want to see kids getting mutilated. You know what I mean? So that, for me, that's why I break it down like that for me. We should have took the word back. Instead, we made a whole thing about it. But yeah.
So,
but I'm dropping a mic bomb.
Then to pose the question, I assume that the majority of us would agree on this. Is it woke for Netflix to cast a trans actor to play a male character in the One Piece show? I would say no.
What is
woke is their show where they have a self-proclaimed trans kid playing a trans kid, the clip that we just fucking watched. That's
it is
clearly
not
right.
For me.
Like,
the
it's
way I view
being
it is-
shoved down. Like, basically, what a definition of woke for me is basically trying to shove down something, trying to shove down something in my throat that I don't agree with. Now, I may be able to tolerate it, let it be, whatever, as long as it's not affecting me. But no human being likes it when some other human being comes around and says, "Oh, you don't agree with me? You have to." Nobody likes being talked down to or being forced to agree to something that they're trying to stay away from. You don't. But at
What
the same
what food would woke be? If woke was a food, what food would it closely be? Like pineapple or
I fucking knew you were gonna say
Mushroom.
pineapple.
Yeah.
Mushroom.
Mushroom. Mushroom is
Leon,
adorable.
but to
What
answer
would
your
Italian
question,
pineapple.
but
That's the
Leon,
only
to
food I
answer
want to
your
eat.
question
Woke's a
though,
mushroom.
but Leon, to answer your question, is it woke to put a trans? I guess what the person's a woman posing as a male, as a male character.
The
Yeah,
actor is
because
As long as that person
No,
is
Peter
in there
Pan in
because
live action
it's,
plays has
or-
been played by a woman forever.
I know what you're saying, but we're not in those times anymore, and we continuously let it be small things until it's this big stuff. Well, you know, like
no, I agree.
so. I
If
peep it
that
from
person
the beginning.
legitimately
Like,
like
here
this
we go.
Pineapple is woke.
Hold on, because here's my question: this actor went in, auditioned for the role, and
Right.
got the role.
If
so
she's
far
the
as we
best-
can tell, hold on.
if she
So
was
far as we
really
can
like the
tell,
best at the
based on
audition,
their audition,
if she
the script was
legitimately-
already written. They didn't cast this person because they were trans. So should this person not get the job purely because they're trans? That doesn't make sense to me. If they went in, auditioned, got the role of a male character, and the character in the story is still a male, to me that's fine.
And it's not brought up at
I'm
all.
looking for a man for the character.
20 years ago, nobody cared. Like, if you got the role because you were the best at the audition, you got the role because you were the best at the audition, no matter what kind of sexuality, orientation, faith, or whatever your thing was. You just you were the best actor present doing this audition. That's why you got the role. If this person got the role because she was the best at the auditions, because she knocked them out with their performance at the callback, at the chemistry reading, at the producers reading, if through all the filters and through all the stages that are actually there, like what we are discussing, like is interesting, but we're not really addressing the problem. Like, we can, of course, like whether it's Marxism, whether it's neo-Marxism, whether it's fascism cloaked as Marxism, whether it's socialism, or what is pride? Pride is a sin, right? So who was excluded out of the heavenly gates because of his pride? It was an angel that was outcast, who was, who fell down, right? Who kind of came down and was excluded out of the heavenly gates from God because he said, no, you're too pride. Because pride creates a poison against consciousness, against reflection, against common sense, against intelligence and pattern recognition. If you are proud of you, if you're too proud, if you are excessively proud of yourself, and you are stubborn in combination, which is the worst of all combinations for humankind, to be stubborn as hell and also fucking proud as hell, because then you will never realize, you will never reflect, you will just go down that path. And this is where the psychosis is being born, and this is what we're witnessing today. These are not people with any sexual problems or anything like that. Their hormones and their usual oscillations, like every human being is going through, because of his hormones, because of his way of, kind of maturing, because of the organs who are growing. That normal, natural process is now been called, oh, that's a transition, or that's a signal for a different sexual entity inside of you. All this bullshit is an overledger program. It was inserted by the system to kind of awaken that pride feeling, that proudness inside of everyone. So everybody goes down that selfish road. And it's even written in the Bible, like, that sense destroys every conversation, because that sense makes it impossible to reflect on what someone else said. And this is exactly what we've been addressing. So the problem here is that we're dealing with people who don't want to listen, because their self-entitled psychosis that they've been getting by the system, right? And the system is telling them, no, it's fine like that, don't worry, right? And so the funny thing is that the system itself is nuking itself out of existence, because they are playing with these people now. Because, of course, they have to be faithful to their propaganda. That's why they have to bring out Snow White, right? Because it's their the cornerstone of their development. They have to show, this is the new holy grail, right, of our communication, of our culture. So they have to bring it out. But the problem is they have to deal with the Zaglers and the Brie Larsons and all the other this plethora, this army of incompetent, selfish narcissists that are just assholes and they have nothing in their
Yeah, and also, Coach, I do want to mention something. Is that the whole concept of pride leading. What Coach is talking about is there's nothing wrong with being proud of something, but it is a problem when it gets turned into arrogance. Arrogance is basically that extreme of pride where, as Coach said, you only believe that your way of thinking is the right way. You don't want to look inside yourself and say, okay, maybe I am wrong in this, because if you did, that would lead to a breakdown for most people where they would just shut down immediately or become a big mental mess.
Well,
and we are in a society where they're trying to foster people that allows them to blindly believe in their arrogance. And the second somebody challenges that arrogance, they cannot self-reflect. So their only option to protect that their brain comes up with in order to protect them from possible mental trauma or overload is to attack. That is a normal human reaction.
Absolutely.
And that's how you take advantage of that. And also, every holy text in any religion you can ever think of in mythology makes it quite clear that whenever you have someone that has pride because they're talented or they're misguided or whatever, if somebody doesn't step in to stop that pride, it can eventually turn into arrogance. And that's why legends like the one of Gilgamesh, Samson, and Hercules are basically tales of warning for people back then, especially to warriors and kings. That was basically, do not let the fact that you were born into a privileged position or this much talent take away the fact that you should be self-reflective and humble at every turn that you go to, because if you don't, that will turn into arrogance, and in the end it will not only destroy you but everything around you that you created.
Everything has its time to shine, ladies and gentlemen, and every single one of us will fade away.
Really quick.
Did you guys see Janice Lander's comment, by the way, when we talked about woke food? She put tomatoes because they're a fruit that's pretending to be a vegetable.
That's
very good. That's
brilliant. Let me tell you, I couldn't comprehend that tomato situation as a little girl. Anyway, yeah.
And just to finish off, like there is this beautiful quote. It goes like this: the creator, I would say the spiritual creator of anything that is in an oligarchy right now is Aristotle, because Aristotle gave birth to, intellectually, to the Venetian Republic, and the Venetian Republic is one of the most cruel and aggressive ways of exploiting any art of culture. They're the true free traders, the first to kind of open up the borders and kind of destroyed governments and constitutions. The Venetians were truly the first ones, and their philosopher was Aristotle. And Aristotle said, knowledge plus reflection becomes wisdom. And so you have a wise leader, you have a wise person, you have a healthy society. And then Machiavelli, who was then, the Luciferian type of philosopher for the Medicis and also for the Venetians, he said, what we now have to do is just make sure that the system doesn't allow the people, the peasants, to reflect. So we just give them knowledge, right? And that knowledge, whether good or bad, we're going to make sure that we manipulate that. So out of that knowledge, there will never be wisdom coming out, because we take the reflection out of the system. How can we do that? By creating continuous tension. Mind you, this is Machiavelli, right? 13th century. He already said that if you give people tension, they will not have time to reflect on the knowledge they received prior to that, and they will never make up their mind whether or not they're getting food.
The thing about our modern education system, critical thinking is lost. Yep. They don't push it. They don't push questioning. Everything is to the test. Everything is knowing the answer.
There is no reflection, nothing. It's just knowledge. And then by that, what they do now is way, way smarter. That's why they installed woke in their movies. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. But what is it? What is the real purpose of installing those woke elements and patterns and tropes into the movies?
Perpetual conflict.
Because you get triggered. And the trigger what is it that gets triggered inside of your system? It's your tendency. Your tendency to whether liking or disliking this, whether agreeing or disagreeing with it, whether going or going against it, right? This is everything that should be done by woke. It's just triggering that tendency inside of you. And now all of a sudden you have a controversy in your living room and they won the game because if they can manage to have a controversy in the living room where, it's the holy of holies there where actually the sacred bond of the family happens. If they can get it in there by kind of challenging your, both your tendencies, they've done a good job. Because now they got you by the balls. You don't have to reflect.
Assuming
anymore.
you have a family in America.
They're not
the families in America
people having kids.
Yeah, no, don't believe the media lies, man. People are having. I think people are starting to wake up to a lot of this stuff that we are talking about, and that is a very refreshing
because
thing.
we're talking about it.
My brother has 2 kids. He lets them watch nothing before after 1999.
Yeah, that's
anything
smart.
he watches before is 1999 and younger.
That's very
That
smart.
means he doesn't get the cinematic masterpiece that is Toy Story 2.
Well,
they get to watch that when they turn 10 and 11.
Yeah,
they're doing,
little
they're
kids.
smart.
Okay, fair enough.
Because at the end of the day, that's what's up that your brother does that. Because at the end of the day, like all of this that we're saying, they're gonna do what they want to do. Here's the thing: even to go back to is the actor, because the One Piece, right? This is what got us here, right? The actor is trans, and then and that's why but now it's coming out that they're trans. Oh, but if they were best for the part, maybe they're a good actor. Were they the best for the part? We'll never know, because now I feel like what drives people is just to check that box. We'll never know, because we could say that about affirmative action. Well, the black guy was a best for the part. Well, was there a white guy who should have got that place? So that's how, I look at everything so cynical now, but it is what it is, because entertainment is entertainment. What am I going to do? I know the world that I live in, but going back to what Rogue said, all of this, right? The thing is, what we do here and talking about it, and then the videos get shared and everything, it's waking people up to it. So then they go to their kids, all right, tomorrow it's still going to be here. But then you look at like, all right, I can't put my child in front of the television and let the television babysit my kid anymore. In the 80s, I know that's what they did with me. Sesame Street 92. Definitely babysitting. Sesame Street can't do that anymore, right? So like your brother said, he said, you know what? I gotta raise these kids.
You're correct, Casey. You're entirely correct. But because you say people watch the videos, it wakes them up to it, and I would agree. However, when things get pushed so far, it all start turning people off to it. When you heard people like, whether it be us or people like Geeks and Gamers or anyone say things that were reasonable 2 years ago that are now freaking out about Starfield Pronouns and trans actors in One Piece, meaning the whole show is woke, start blowing things out of proportion, it also starts turning people away. That's why you've got to be consistent when you make.
And they don't have to watch that
message.
You can't preach. You have to be a conversation. You can't preach.
Yeah.
As soon as you start preaching and talking down to someone, that's when. My brother was like, oh, I can put in Disney Plus, blah blah blah. When he first had his kids, I'm like, no, like please don't. Like I went a hard line stance. I'm like, no, put. Like have them watch 90s stuff, blah blah blah. And then finally I let him all right, well, let's watch some stuff together. And then he's like, okay, I see what you mean.
You should have shown him Willow, and he would have said, I understand.
Right.
Do you guys think that, and I apologize for my Xbox starting up, we are getting towards the end of the show, but I just like to ask you all, do you think highlighting the problem only goes so far?
Yes.
No.
I mean, only to a certain
I can
point.
agree with words on something. That is the best. That is the best news I've heard this stream.
I'm like saying, please.
I mean, look.
I want to respond to words, because he said, Casey, I hear what you're saying about Geeks and Gamers, and it sounds like they're.
I'm not throwing shade at them. Just anyone in general on this side.
Put it this way: I'm a part of that team. Do I seem that?
I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
I know you're not throwing shade to them, but I just want to make this. But I just use them as an example too. If a person is preaching about something, you're tired of hearing what they're saying, just turn it off. They have a right to be who they are. It's just that simple.
Yeah, you're miscategorizing my argument. Hold on, you're miscategorizing my argument.
I'm not talking to you even when I'm saying that, right? There's certain things I say. I know that at least 3 of us in here is not going to agree with me on how I say it. There's a part of me that shines out. I can't help it, right? It does, right? I respect the fact that somebody's not going to agree with it. but I
Right.
can't help who I am when I talk
But
about.
we all
some of the
have
stuff
a
that I
common
see.
end goal, and if you're so fixated on the end goal that you start taking the wrong path, it is good to call out your own and say, "Hey, let's get back on the path. There's a better way to get to this end
The
goal."
ends justify the means.
But
That
how do we know that
the
the one
through the
actor-
end
You don't know if that's
justify the
positive.
means.
You
No,
don't
you
know.
should not use your
Hold
you
on,
should
I-
not lose your
hold on.
soul while you justify your means. Like your soul should be
Exactly.
intact. So you cannot lose who you are to
Facts.
get to the end. Because any
Okay.
like, yeah,
So
like
if I'm a
sorry.
person
you
who
know better.
notices that too many men are competing, how many men were running in track meets against women before people started noticing? Okay, it's only one, right? But then if I call it out at one, I'm insane until a
No,
thousand
calling it
come
out
up.
at one is still
Not-
good. Like that's
So, but that's
a
the point.
good.
Okay, well, you know what I mean.
Right.
The point is, they probably sound a certain way because they see the writing on the wall.
Well, usually
not
I
in
say
here,
the
their
more the
videos are
merrier,
like-
but not in that
Again,
case.
I think you're misunderstanding my point, though, Casey. What I'm stating is that there's an end goal, and we all want to collectively get to this end goal of
Yes.
effectively, winning this culture war, quote unquote.
Mhm.
However, when people become so entrenched in that, and they live on the internet, and that's all they can think about, and that's all they see, they're jumping at shadows. They start seeing things that aren't there because you will always see what you want to see, whether it be on the right or the left. You've got
Vietnam.
an inherent bias, and you will find something if you're looking for it. So it's good for those of us on our own side, on the same side, to say, hey, you're seeing stuff that's not there, reel it back in. You're getting lost in this stuff because it becomes this unhealthy obsession.
You
And
can
the
be
reason why,
stuck in the
the reason why I
trenches
brought up preach
for
is
too
because
long.
I don't think people like. Sometimes people don't like that they're up on their pulpit or their soapbox. If you're talking to someone on the other side, you don't want to be on a soapbox. You want to be sitting on a chair, and you want to be disarming. If you want to try and actually have a conversation and get to mutual points, I don't know if you want to be aggressive. That's my viewpoint.
I have a quote that actually. Oh no, I have a quote that I think is pretty much sums up what we are trying to say. It's by Friedrich Nietzsche, as everyone knows, and it's the classic quote of "He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. When you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you." It's again a cautionary tale of the classic mythologies in every damn lesson, which is that do not become, number one, do not let pride become arrogance, and number two, pay attention, especially when you're fighting against an enemy that is basically indomitable, in the sense that you need to make sure that in your pursuit of fighting them, you do not become them, because now you're not solving the problem, you're just adding more to the pile, and you're taking people with you to that pile.
I definitely feel everything that y'all are saying. I definitely feel everything that y'all are saying.
I just want to
Just
say
a
it's
little
great to see.
concerned that hold on. I'm sorry, Brian, but
No,
let me
no.
finish this last
Go
one.
on, speak.
Just a little concerned that by the time people start really calling stuff out, it's too late.
Well,
That's-
no,
Yeah,
we've
I mean,
been
right.
calling
Not
this
too late.
stuff
I
out
didn't-
for years at this point. So it's not as if we all just started recently calling this stuff out. I mean, this stuff's been being called out like slowly but surely since 2014. What the problem is, because it's been 10 years
Much
almost
earlier,
right,
though.
now people are starting to call stuff out that is irrelevant. The jumping at shadows, they have lost themselves. I mean, just like the quote the Dragon Slayer threw out there, the more modern version of saying it is, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I don't want to see individuals that have been doing such great work in this culture war for the last almost 10 years start to become the villains there, which will give more power to the
Do you
other
think
side.
it'll be an
of the
endless
culture war.
conflict? Do you think it
no,
will be
I
like
think
an endless?
it's gonna be- I
eventually
truly think
the
there's an
empire
end.
will fall.
It's going to be a cycle because it's going to start over again. We're
Yeah.
human
It's gonna
nature.
start over
We don't
again.
want to end up like the Crusades in the medieval times,
History always
especially the
repeats
first
itself.
one.
I just wanted to say it was great to see Brandon, the anime guy, one of the
Awesome
few
dude.
creators out there who likes me, Words, and Cassie. So if there's one person to bring us all together, it is Brandon.
Brandon's great. We love you, Brandon.
All right, guys, let's do our outros now. Tonight was awesome, but it is 3 hours in, and I know Casey's got to go, so I'm gonna start with her first. I mean, she's first
I
anyway.
appreciate that too, because my computer about to die. So I was I am so excited I came to talk to you guys. This is therapeutic. I love everybody on this panel. We argue like family, but it is all love and we all grow from it. And chat, thank you for being here because without y'all, there is no us. Hypnotic, thank you for always being consistent every Saturday. And if you guys want to catch me, I'm on That Girl Casey. I've been putting out some videos here and there. I am on location. I'm trying to go live next week. A lot of things are happening. The political season is starting back up again. And that brings everything. You know what I mean? Because when it's political season, then everything happens. Riots, wars, everything. You name it. It's all connected. So y'all can catch me on That Girl Casey. All right?
Perfect. Thank you, Casey, for stopping by, hanging out with us. Of course, we got Dragon Slayer commentaries. Take it away, sir.
Hey, thank you. Well, I want to say, guys, again, awesome time in the panel as usual. I always enjoy having talks about these kinds of topics. You know, I know a lot of people think all we do is just shit talk about things that are easy to shit talk about, but we also do talk about serious topics, as you've seen. And surprisingly enough, we can have differing opinions and still get along after the show. But for me, guys, if you want to check me out, you know, go to that link Steve posted in the chat. You can also click the link tree type the link tree that's on the screen right now, the channel link at the bottom. And by the way, I know I've been slow on posting videos to like Joe Biden levels, but I swear this week you will get that kindergarten cop video. And to make the wait even more worthwhile, when I finally get that Ahsoka video out, it's going to include basically episodes 1 through 5. So pray for me, as the brain damage I will experience will be, well, Titanic. So yeah, that's me for now, guys. But you know, I do have other videos on other crappy things. But yeah, that's me. Thank you, guys.
Good stuff. And we got, of course, cult classic Cage. Take it away.
No, it was a great talk as always. It's always good to have everyone's thoughts and where we can have constructive conversations. So thank you guys so much for that. And thank you for chat, the individuals that chose to be willing to hear the conversation. That's what's important, to hear all sides, even if you don't necessarily agree, and you're free to disagree. And we love to see everyone's minds turning in different ways. Like, we don't want to be a hive mind. Like, I want to be better than, you know, the opposition in every fundamental way. And I think that us being able to call each other out at times in ways that, you know, make sense, especially if you care about one another or getting each other to think, it's important. So, you know, appreciate all that and that we can get into it. But if you want to catch me, Cult Classic Cage on YouTube, Kick, and Twitter, talk about all things gaming. Been keeping up on the Starfield drama and whatnot, and I've tried to take the sane take, man. That's what's important here. The sane take. Even if it costs me subscribers, even if it gets me hate, I just don't want to.
It was good.
I just don't want to go down this insane path in which we find ourselves being, you know, the reflection of the people that we have a serious issue with. So on that, even if it, you know, it costs me in some way, shape, or form, I have to stick to what makes me as a person, and in hope that we can all just chill out and have some fun, especially during some times that are, you know, messed up. But if you could appreciate that, then definitely check me out, and we can always have a conversation. That's what I love.
Absolutely.
By the way, what happened to Wyatt?
I don't know why, but
woman privilege. Cassie looks more like a man than Rebel does.
It must be that color.
She's got a Justin Bieber vibe going.
She still has a bonus hole, so priority is given.
Yeah, it's a bonus.
White man, stand aside. Woman first.
Film Rebel, aka White Metal, take it away.
Right, yeah. Film Rebel, check me out. I'm making fun of the Snorka series right now. I'm one of the few people who's actually enduring that shit. It's terrible, if you're wondering.
I'll join you in hell. Relax, okay?
You might regret that, but check out Wyatt's Metal, where I talk about heavy metal stuff. Made a latest video busting the biggest myths of heavy metal, so that was fun. This live stream was very interesting and different than most of the other ones we have. This reminded me a lot of when the whole family gets drunk at Thanksgiving. But I'm glad that we can have this place where everyone can talk and not fully agree, not fully disagree, but say what they honestly, genuinely want to say and have that be challenged in real time and talk about it. Unlike the mainstream where you literally can't talk or question or think of anything, just obey. So I'm grateful for this live stream and for Hypnotic and all you crazy people here. And that's all I got.
Thank you, my good sir. And we
Are
got
we
our
gonna
special
ignore
guest.
the Are we
What?
gonna ignore the fact that Trace literally did a drive-by on this live stream?
Yeah, he fucking
Yeah, he did.
He did 2 drive-bys, a real life one, and then he did
everyone.
a drive-by on the stream. He just stopped by. He's like, "Yeah, I'm totally gonna join this," and then
Reality based is rubbing off on cult classic.
I'm about to
Cage,
remove the HNIC from his fucking intro. Like, he's losing it. He's losing it. Anyway, Rogue Attraction, man, thank you for joining us tonight. It was awesome having you
Hell yeah.
here. Tell everybody, you know, where they could find you, all that good stuff.
TheRogueAttraction on YouTube. I have a kick. I will get to playing it there at some point. I was told to have one by Jeremy. I get told things like that. Oh, hey, make a locals. Okay. I haven't used it since, but I made one. I'm basically, you can say I'm escapism. Like I go to theme parks. I walk around. I judge the theme parks basically unbiasedly. I will be fair and honest, tell you this is too expensive, this is too whatever, because people are going to go there anyway and they need to be informed. Besides that, I am bringing back something soon, which I believe you had her on. Melanie Max could be joining me for a perfect park day where this is a fun stream where you basically make your perfect theme park day, take anything from anywhere, any time period, and build a perfect day around it. It's kind of a fun thing.
That sounds cool.
I like to be some levity on the sphere of stuff. So get out of talking some. I do some bashing, but that's on my Rumble channel when I can actually talk without. I have a very divided audience. I have half geeks and gamers and half theme park people, and they're not the same people all the time. So I have to be very careful. But yeah, besides that, I'm gonna be going to see a purple dragon tomorrow.
Nice, very cool.
Byro.
Like I said, man, I appreciate you stopping by. It was awesome.
Yeah, this is a
having
lot
you
of fun.
tonight. And you're also welcome back anytime.
Was I toxic
Mr.
enough? That's I'm curious, chat. Was I toxic?
No,
I feel like very milk toast.
We have to
here.
see how quickly we got demonetized.
Yeah, we got to find out.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So this is one of the only streams that ever stayed monetized. Number one.
You're
So that
welcome.
means I don't think we ever went hard enough. And
What?
number two,
Wow.
my Nerdy Homes stream, right? Steph's stream was the only stream I've ever done in my history that got age restricted, which I
What?
find so interesting because
Dang.
she's like the nicest fucking one of the nicest people. And
Wait till you hear your talking
the stream got age. Well, yeah, no, it's a Latina, I know, but
What did I say?
it got age restricted. So I'm like, what? How is that possible? But
We
You'd be
bring a
surprised how
Latina
many
woman.
times titles
and-
do that.
Wait,
nah,
wait.
dude, because it was good. It was good for weeks, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just got
Okay.
age restricted. So I don't think it was title or anything. It was something that was said that was picked up at some point. Actually, I have to check if it was manually struck or not. I didn't check. I don't know if it was automated or manual, but I'll check. But yeah, I just found it
But
pretty weird.
like, really? We brought
Yeah.
another woman on stream, and they did that shit. Damn.
Yeah, yeah,
Must
it was
get a pass.
interesting.
We need to do
With that
more
being
diverse
said,
casting. God damn it.
Speaking of diversity, Ryan Roger Athay, take it away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't already, just move that up a bit. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and I'm sure you will enjoy what Hypno has to offer. Check out all these fine fellow creators, including Atreus's, and my goodness. Well, Hypno is the inspiration by all my recent changes. We tomorrow, or today by my time, because it's 4:10 a.m. Reality-based comics will debut
Nice.
at 10 p.m. UK time with Eric O'Sullivan, the comic relief crusader, and Telepathic Bunny Comics, who was recently a guest of today's reality-based extreme. So you can check me out on YouTube. Yes, Steven Seagal is one of the greatest action heroes in American history. And it was great to meet Rogue Attraction for the first time, and he's more than welcome to be on reality-based extreme. I'm far more mellow on that show. And I'm reality-based on this show, folks. Check me out on my channel, which is my name. You'll find a much more relaxed creator who hasn't been radicalized by a hypno demon or dragon demons, or a woman who looks like a man who looks like a woman, or a Dick Rider Central with a cowboy hat. With a birdie.
Not all
Okay,
cowboys ride
okay,
dick.
Vladimir
No,
Lenin.
not all listeners ride dick.
Okay, comrade, I will invade your
Ryan, for
stream.
someone who talks about Slayer derailing, you sure are taking a long time in this outro. Man.
No, it's perfectly fine.
I will derail your stream next
become Biden.
time. You invite me, and I will derail your stream to max.
And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and no other genders, binaries, tranny demons, full-blown AIDS demons, and they/them pronoun demons. Bye for now, folks.
I didn't get his name.
That's great.
I love his outro. That's why I'm used to his outro. All right, we got the Coach MC, man. Take it away. And I noticed you changed your shirt because
I did it for you, man. I did it I did it for
He had a regular T-shirt.
The old
on
women
the stream,
to the show,
and then
Coach. Come on.
We were like, you're not wearing your button downs anymore. What happened? And then all of a sudden, the stream starts and he's in a button down. So,
of
there you
course.
go.
Everything for you, sir, and for this beautiful panel, and for the great chat that kind of, stayed strong with us in over 3 hours of full-blown, very interesting. Yeah, today a bit different in the way we were conversating the topics we were touching upon, and it's always a great example that we can, sometimes thematically maybe derail, but we always stay consistent in discussing, like, in the most passionate, honest, and sincere way what we got on our mind, and we exchange our opinions. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we're not, but we always stay focused and kind of, being interested and curious and kind of researching and kind of discovering new stuff about culture, about entertainment, about everything that they're throwing at us. And sometimes we always we also throw something back at them. So I guess our spirit needs to be like that. Like, they will throw a lot on us, and we just throw it back even stronger, and then we start creating our own stuff. And then this is how we survive. There's not going to be one formula. It's going to be a process. It's going to be conversations like this, a constant dialogue, and also the constant passion to create something new. So if you guys want to create something, if you want to kind of stand up against the system, if you think that everything is unfair, then do something about it, right? Go out and start gardening, start landscaping, start building stuff, start becoming an artist, do something about it, change the system from within instead of just complaining. And, join us every Saturday. Or if you kind of, like to tell your story, if you happen to be an actor, performer, somebody who loves to kind of, stand on stage and kind of add something new, or kind of find a strategy in your career, or maybe just want to work on your monologues and be more, kind of impactful when it comes down to auditioning, then come over to the Coach MC studio. It's over here on YouTube. It's on TikTok. It's, of course, on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram where it's the Coach MC. Subscribe to our social media outlets. Get better with us. Get in contact with us. Let's start the conversation. Let's start the collaboration. Let's start the culture.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
That's why he's the MILF magnet. That's why our female viewership numbers have increased.
That's
entirely true.
All right. Speaking of the other MILF magnet, we got Leon Idol himself.
No, that's the tranny.
No, he's practically progressive MILFs.
Trans women are women, okay? No, yeah. First of all, I do want to say happy birthday to the Hypnotic channel. I'm super happy and blessed to be here. I'm so glad that you're doing this. You've got 2 years. Here's to many more until this channel does eventually get the axe, because Papa YouTube will catch on eventually. But seriously, this has been probably my favorite episode that we've done to date, because there was a lot of conflict and conflict resolution. We got to have a bunch of different ideas, different opinions, different points of view, and we're going to all go home at the end of the day. We're going to still be in our group chat. We're going to talk about Starfield, or we're going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog or anime or whatever, and we're going to maintain friends, because that's how this works. That is what differentiates us from the woke left, is we can have these conversations, and then we can continue. We can have dialogues, and I think this might be one of the most productive episodes we've ever done. Almost everyone today had an incredibly wide and varied opinion, and it was super awesome to see. So
except Dragon Slayer.
What?
Fuck you, Mr. Asshole.
No, I think it was great. I also think this is pretty amazing. This might be the only episode where I don't think Ryan said tranny demon once. Like,
it is strange.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't think he said it. It was so
No,
weird.
he did not.
Either way,
Bravo,
if
you're
you
right.
guys enjoyed any of my takes tonight, because I know a lot of you didn't. That's a-okay. But yeah, if anyone wants to come on over to my channel, Words of Paradise, I release nerdy videos every day, usually twice a day, and I cover the nerdy news from all angles. I attack the left, I attack the right, and basically anyone who's trying to ruin nerd culture, because I think nerd culture needs to be as apolitical as possible, unless it truly fits the narrative. So come on over, check it out. I've started channel memberships. I'm going to start letting you guys choose the articles I cover in some sort of capacity if you want to become a member, and it's going to be a great time. So yeah, I'll see you on over there.
Leon, you
Overwhelm
know,
him.
you remind
Overwhelm
me.
him.
Your shirt reminds me of like that Police Academy movie where they tricked those two snobs into going to the Blue Oyster Bar.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but like this
insult
shirt
Police Academy
is
by
exactly
calling
the
it-
same.
by
color.
calling it that Police
Pokemon
Academy
shirt,
movie.
bro. It's a Pokemon
Did you
shirt.
just call Police Academy one of the greatest movies? That Police Academy movie.
yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, guys. On that note, no, I'm just kidding.
you fuck.
It's one of the greatest movie, man. God,
I
Jesus.
know, but it reminded me of that one scene because he's wearing the exact same shirt, and I've seen all Police Academy movies, by the way. So
Not all
even
of
the
them are
shitty
good.
ones. Yeah.
Police Academy definitely is one of those movies that overstayed its welcome, but that's besides the point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, episode 55, man, is in the books. Thank you guys so much for your constant support on the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Rogue Attraction, again for joining us and hanging out with us tonight. It was awesome having you. Of course, welcome back anytime. Guys, also, I created a new outro for members. It's a member credit roll. So if you guys want to stick around for that, you're more than welcome. If not, I understand. And of course, episode 56 is next week. Please do not miss it. Come hang out with us. Enjoy the time here, 8 p.m. Eastern every single Saturday. Yes, the channel is 2 years old. That is awesome. I didn't even realize it until I got the notification on YouTube Studio. So it's been a crazy 2 years, and we're going to go for another year. So hopefully you guys join us for the ride as we continue to grow and have fun and bring on more guests and keep the conversation going, because that's really what we do here. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the stream and joining us tonight, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. Go be bigots now. Goodbye.
Goodbye, comrades. Bye.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Her dog, or her cat, was named Vagina. Vagina. Vagina.